proceeding has been an explicit presentation of the Yes Network.
Remarkable is the best digital note-taking tool. It's replaced all of my other notebooks. I've been in the innovation space my entire career, and it's all about the value of your ideas and your ability to capture them in the moment. And one of the benefits of the Remarkable is I'm not seeing an email pop up, I'm not seeing a message coming in. It allows me to stay focused and generate better ideas and better innovations.
If we weren't proud of the craftsmanship and level of detail that go into every pair of Warby Parker glasses, well, we probably wouldn't show you how they're made, including this part, which is our favorite. Wow. And this is also great. Each pair comes standard with lenses that are scratch-resistant, anti-reflective, and UV protective. Try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
The Michael K. Show on Yes is brought to you by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at untuckit.com.
Wait, I don't understand what just happened.
You didn't hear it, did you?
Wait, someone... No, I heard it.
Well, we're going back in the archives trying to find old opens.
Okay.
And I found that and thought it was very funny.
Got it. Oh, okay. So you're saying this wasn't actually. I worried for a second. You got a call from Michael yesterday.
No, that's literally. I don't know when, Don. You are the historian of the show. You'd have to help me out with the timing.
That was obviously it predates Peter, so we're going back, over almost a decade. That goes back to, it might have even been like a 10-to-1 vehicle.
Do you guys want to hear the original open to the show?
I would love to.
Why not? I'm already insulted.
Jacob?
Yeah. And then after.
Was on the radio today, and he ain't afraid to say what he's thinking. It's the Michael K. Show. Michael K. Talking to York sports from here on out. Call him up and give a shout. The lines are blinking.
Beautiful.
1-800-919-ESPN. And every 20 minutes you get Sports Center with Don LaGreca. He's a heck of an anchor. Michael K. is on the radio today.
Wait, can you turn it down? Wait, Don, you used to be mentioned in the intro and you lost it?
Yes.
On 1050 ESPN.
Well, I was mentioned as the anchor, as the update guy, but I was mentioned. And I was a heck of an anchor, which was something that Michael would throw out every once in a while. He hasn't mentioned it in like over a decade. But yes, but it wasn't long, Peter, because eventually, that just shows you how far back that was the original open, and it lasted until Mike Thompson became our PD, which was probably around 04, 05-ish maybe. And he's like, it's too long. We just got to get right into the show. It's too long. Nobody's going to listen to a song for 3 minutes to open a show. Let's get with it. And what do you think was sacrificed immediately? So that was it from there. And
wait, and didn't the phone number stay in?
Oh, listen, that was way more important than me, the phone number. But that got
giving out the phone number in the song.
Sure. The
phone number in the song was seen as more important than you.
But it was just
that to me, that's just poor judgment.
But they too long. Just get right into it, like instantaneous opinion, like 30 seconds into the show. And meanwhile, we were owned by the same company that, like, Sean Hannity had a show down the hall and had like a 15-minute open, and everybody was like, oh. But whatever, it was too short.
Now listen, can I be real though?
Be real.
He wasn't wrong about it being too long.
Oh yeah, and at the time. But good job.
Can we now do the right thing? Can we now do the right thing, Jacob? and play the Wolfpack intro? So can we start the show over again? I mean, let's. It was fun. I loved our trip down memory lane,
nice.
but let's live in the here and the now and get the show started. You know what I mean? Hit it.
Michael K. is on the radio today.
No, Michael K. Oh yeah.
I love it.
Oh yeah,
to do, baby.
In the big city.
Yeah.
Don, it's 3:04.
3:04 in the big city.
We are here, Peter and Don, and we're going to jump right into it. All right, I'm going to get started with some game time brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Tonight you have the WNBA is on a break. The All-Star game, the All-Star weekend is not over. You have absolutely nothing on the docket today.
That's poor.
Oh, no. You could recap your golf. You want to recap the Open job? Maybe you could do that. That's all that's going on today, and that is Game Time, brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cast matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tully or try the brand new Tullamore Dew Honey during tonight's action, which doesn't exist. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly.
That's poor form by the WNBA, by the way. If I were the WNBA,
why is that?
As hot as they are right now, and they just signed a $200 million television contract, so they got a lot going on there. That yesterday and today, they should have set something up where everyone played these 2 days. The entire league played on the Wednesday and Thursday after the All-Star game with nothing going on. We should be like drenched in WNBA games.
Well, and if you want to go a step further from that, Don, considering people are willing to go, conspiracy theorize on the schedules of Caitlin Clark, if you want to go down that path, last night, Wednesday night, should have been Indiana, Chicago on national TV.
I mean, take advantage of.
That's what you should have had last night.
Because there's people, really, not so much myself, because, there's always something going on with the kids and everything, but single Don or no kids Don. These are a tough couple of days, no sports going on. And people might throw on a WNBA game tonight with nothing happening before their baseball teams start back up again tomorrow. So I got to know they've got their All-Star game and they've got their skills competition. I would be flooded. I would work out the schedule travel-wise that everybody played on the Wednesday and Thursday after the All-Star game, and then you can kind of set things up.
That's not the only bad by the WNBA this week, and this wasn't where we planned on starting.
No,
we're going to get to our big list.
It popped into my head.
It happened organically. We're about to get to our...
Technically, I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. Well, what I was going to tell Don, I'll tell you, world, is that's not the only mistake the WNBA made, in my opinion. You know where I'm going with this, Anthony?
Continue.
The other mistake, Don, by the WNBA, any guesses of what it is?
Is having... Well, first of all, none of the stars are in the skills competition, right? You got a three-point shooting competition, and none of the stars are
not in the... Caitlin Clark... You want to talk about all these things about Caitlin and what she should and shouldn't do. Her declining, it's unacceptable. I mean, that's just not reasonable.
Well, Reese isn't doing it either.
Well, but Reese doesn't, all due respect to Angel Reese, she's a great, gritty player. There's not a lot of spots for Angel Reese in the skills competition.
But whatever.
I'm sorry. She doesn't have handle. She doesn't shoot.
Whatever.
How what do you mean whatever?
Well, just get the...
How do you...
Get big names involved.
Are you agreeing with me or disagreeing with me?
Listen, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying that even Angel Reese should find a way in there. Any name is possible to get involved. But if you say she said no because she knows she's not going to do well, but
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there's not a... Here's my point. I don't know what Caitlin Clark's logic was. Maybe she didn't want to Bigfoot anyone. Maybe she felt like I'm getting too much attention as it is. Whatever. This is something with very little ramification. There was a lot of speculation about what her schedule should be and the Olympics, all of this stuff that is frankly too big for anyone to speculate on. The three-point shootout, there is room for Caitlin Clark. I'm puzzled as to how everyone could have been okay with that.
I got to tell you, I think there's something even worse.
Oh, wow.
Ionescu's not performing in it. Oh, she can perform in the NBA three-point shooting, but not the WNBA?
I don't like you coming after Sabrina Ionescu.
No, Bob, I'm just down. Now, again, if she's got something going on, again, I don't know, but I'm just saying, so you do the NBA one, but not the WNBA one? I mean, I just think that's bad form as well, right? I mean, you're trying to put your best foot forward here, and you performed in the NBA three-point shooting, you're not going to do it in the league you're in? But that just, listen, and this is what happens. See, now, because this is a good day as far as the legitimacy of the WNBA. Not that you had to say that to us. We've been treating it legitimately, but this is the criticism we have of the NBA when LeBron James doesn't want to do it. This is the criticism that we give baseball when the Stars don't want to participate in the home run derby. It's the same thing. So the fact that there is criticism tells you that there are people that want to watch that are going to be disappointed the Stars aren't in it. Welcome to Sports Talk Radio, WNBA.
It just seemed like a sort of no-brainer. Now, Sabrina won last year already, so maybe she just felt like that was enough, Don. She wasn't trying to go for the repeat.
No, I just think
I would like to have seen her again. That was her performance last year is sort of what thrusted her into the national scene. If you recall, she shot like over 90% in last year's three-point shootout, so maybe it was just enough. But yeah, it seems like a little bit of a missed opportunity for the weekend. But who am I to judge?
Oh,
how do I know these things?
Oh, we're entitled to have our opinion. But as you said, this
now
was
what we're paid to judge, Don, is the list that ESPN made of the top 100 athletes of the 21st century. And yesterday we had a lot of fun. We talked about 100 through 26, and then we started to speculate on the top 25.
Right.
Now, Anthony, because you're a great producer, I'm guessing you have the 25 that Don and I came up with, right?
He certainly does. Hopefully on hand.
So he has that list there. And, Don, you have the actual 21 through 25, which we agreed to not see, but you ended up seeing.
Yeah, I was just getting too flooded, and I was listening a lot to the station, and it was getting brought up in the morning. It was getting brought up on Bart and Hahn, so I just couldn't avoid it. But you didn't, so I still think that's good. Now, we did not put ours 1 through 25. We just came up with 25 names we thought that would be on it. And 22 of our 25 made it, Peter.
Wow. All right. All right.
I am.
So,
who do you think of the three that we had were wrong?
Maybe Canelo.
Maybe Canelo. You're right. That's one.
All right.
One's pretty easy. We knew when we said it that we were taking a chance, but
the bowler.
Yes, Jason Belmonte not on the list, even though apparently he's very dominant in the PBA. But it looks like it's a complete disrespect to bowling.
What sport is the other one from?
Basketball. And we
no, that we know. No.
What?
That we missed?
Yeah, well, because we did
that we got wrong.
We got it wrong, but we didn't miss. We didn't have them on the list, and they were on the list.
But,
no, I thought we were talking about the people that we put on the list that weren't on the list. Because then giving away the sport of this person would give it away because there's only one person.
Oh, Lance Armstrong.
Right. Which is odd to me because, as Anthony said, well, maybe because he was stripped of those Tour de France titles, but he was stripped of those titles because of PEDs. And PEDs didn't seem to hurt Barry Bonds, didn't seem to hurt Alex Rodriguez. So it seems it's a little hypocritical to me, but maybe it was just being Captain Literal Man that those titles were stripped as the reason Lance Armstrong wasn't on. So I don't feel bad about getting those wrong.
I'm pretty proud we got the 22 out of 25 I hoped we did.
Now, there are a few.
That was better than I expected.
Right.
So.
Now, and those are the ones that we did not have on the list, that we had on the list that didn't make the list. Okay, so then there were ones that we had on that the ones that we didn't have on that made it. So we'll talk about that. But are you ready for the list?
I am ready for the list. Are you going? Which way are you reading?
25 down to 1, like as any good list would go. So number 25.
I'm ready.
We were correct. Floyd Mayweather.
25.
Yes.
Okay.
Number 24, Albert Pujols. This one.
Okay.
This one's rough. This was one that not only did we not have it on our top 25, if I thought of this person, I believe we both would have said, not even asked to see if they were in the 100. See if you can get.
You wouldn't have thought they were top 100.
It's a basketball player, NBA player. That we did not mention him. Did not come up. Didn't see it on a tweet. We did not bring it up. We brought up Allen Iverson, if you remember. And the other ones were brought up, but this one was not brought up. So think of the great NBA players. Number 23. He's on the 75th anniversary team, so he's not insignificant.
Oh.
He's a 13-time All-Star, 12-time All-Defensive player. Not Steve Nash. Steve Nash was on the list earlier.
13-time All-Defensive player.
12-time All-Defensive player, 13-time All-Star. He was MVP of the league, won 1 championship.
Eastern Conference? Played both. This should be pretty obvious then.
And we have a dead giveaway hint.
And he's in the Basketball Hall of Fame. 75th anniversary team, Basketball Hall of Fame, NBA champion, MVP.
Oh, I'm guessing the reason we didn't think of him much was because the amount of time that he played in the 2000s. Is he mostly a 90s player?
Let me look up his rookie year. 95, he was drafted. Yeah.
95?
But that's not why. Maybe you would have a little bit more respect for it. Again, I'm not saying he doesn't belong on the list after really thinking about it, but I'm surprised he's 23. All right, I'm gonna give the quintessential hint. You ready for it?
I mean, it did cross my mind, but 23 is absolutely insane.
Kevin Garnett. Now, again, you look at the list of things, and all of the accomplishments that I threw out to you, the MVPs, the championship, all happened in the 2000s. Not all of the All-Star games and defensive players of the year, but no, Kevin Garnett. And then Sidney Crosby's 22. See, right there's the problem for me, because it's like, you know what? Sidney Crosby's way better at hockey than Garnett was at basketball. There will be a conversation.
Way better.
When it's all said and done, in my opinion, that Sidney Crosby will be in the conversation as the top 5 hockey players of all time. Kevin Garnett will never be. So that was interesting. Kevin Garnett, we did not have in our top 25, number 23. So Sid the Kid we had at 22. This one we bounced around a little bit. I don't and we didn't put her on the list, right?
No, somebody on Twitter suggested her.
She was brought up in conversation, but we did not ultimately have her in our top 25. Diana Taurasi.
Oh, Alex Morgan?
No.
Oh, Diana Taurasi. Yeah. Okay, sure. That was when we thought about it. It did seem reasonable. All right.
This one we nailed. Aaron Donald, number 20.
Yeah, we got it late, but
I'm very proud of this one. Number 19, Lewis Hamilton.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes, 18. So we got that.
Had to be there.
Now, this one we didn't have because we both debated that half of his career was in the 20th century, in the 1990s. That's why. Although a little snide comment from Ty Butler when I was driving home, I checked Twitter, didn't appreciate. Like, oh, Don LaGreca doesn't have Shaq. Nice try, though. Hey, relax yourself, all right, Ty?
By the way,
relax.
He texted me after. He texted me after he sent that to you. He was pretty proud of the troll job that was.
And I ignored it, and I'm only bringing it up on the air to make him look bad, is we acknowledged Shaq. It wasn't a disrespect to Shaq. It was just the whole idea of, was there enough in the 2000s to have him in the top 25, considering he was drafted in 92 and accomplished a lot, and a lot of his dominance came in those 8 years in the 20th century. Now, there was a lot that happened after 2000, but I thought that because you're splitting the difference, that would have kept him off the list. That's why. It wasn't a disrespect to Shaq, Ty. Relax yourself, okay?
All right, keep going.
All right. I give credit.
I took one earlier today.
No, I was talking to Ty.
No.
I give credit to Peter for this one. Tim Duncan, 16.
You know, I'm proud of it, Don.
Yeah.
There's no question I'm proud of it. It could have easily been overlooked, and I'm very proud.
And even that example, I think KG is too close to Duncan. Like, they're not the same. The Duncan's significantly better than Garnett, don't you think? 15, again, credit to you, Katie Ledecky.
Well, I mean, I didn't come up with it, but it just was a no-brainer when I heard it. I mean, all these Olympians were really...
All right, who's the next NBA player at 14?
Kobe.
No.
Kobe's even higher.
Yeah.
You already did Steph.
No. I didn't do Steph.
Oh, we didn't? So it's Steph.
Curry, 14. And what soccer player is 13? So basically, is it Messi or Ronaldo?
It's Ronaldo.
Ronaldo at 13. And then your first tennis player of the top 25.
Nadal.
Nadal, 12. Tennis at 11.
Federer.
No, Djokovic.
Djokovic?
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting.
So, all right, now let's see if you can nail the top 10. We are now in the top 10, and I will tell you, in our top 10, everybody in the top 10 we had on the list. So you know the 10, just put them in order.
In order. Wow. For that, I have to go the other direction, though.
Okay. You want to go 1 to 10?
I have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 1. I'm going to tell you. Can I give him a hint?
Oh, well, I guess I didn't get it.
Your first 3 guesses will be wrong. I know your first 3 guesses would be in some order: Brady, James, and Tiger. Am I right?
Probably.
All right. Wrong.
Is it Messi?
No.
Simone Biles?
No.
I'm going to guess the whole list then.
It feels that way.
Serena?
No. Go for 6.
Well, this is just about me trying to remember who we have on I'm not looking at who we have, so it's also trying to remember who we even had in the top original.
Well, punch up the list. It just got texted.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. That's our list.
Yes.
Great. Okay.
So that person is on that list.
Fighting chance. Okay.
And 6 of them eliminate because those were your 6 guesses.
Michael Phelps.
There you go. Michael Phelps, number 1. You got a problem with that? Much decorated.
Not really. I mean,
all right. 28-time Olympic medalist. 23 Olympic gold medals. Most gold medals at a single Olympics. When he won 8 in Beijing in 2008. I mean, he is decorated, but you have a problem with it being a swimmer.
No,
okay.
I don't care. He's the most decorated
Olympian. But you were
Olympian
surprised
ever.
because your first 6 guesses weren't him.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised. Exactly. I'm surprised, but also like it's fine. And you know, anyone who freaks out about that, like his level of dominance.
Listen, we had him on the list, right? So it's just a debating number 1. All right, number 2, also not.
All right, can I get?
Go for it.
Also not traditional.
Yeah.
It's not traditional?
Not traditional. Well, I mean, not traditional sport, but you know the person, obviously. Very significant. You're not going to have a problem with this.
Is it an Olympic athlete also?
No.
Oh. Messi.
No.
It's not a traditional sport, and it's not Olympic?
It's not one of the 4 major sports.
Tiger.
No.
Gosh,
I'm going to give you one more
what the
guess,
hell
and
is
then I'm going to
happening
get
here?
it. This is a significant person.
Federer?
No. Serena.
Okay.
Serena.
Well, it was either Serena
Right.
or Federer.
Serena 2, Messi 3, LeBron James 4, Brady 5.
Brady 5?
Brady 5.
Okay.
Federer 6, Simone Biles 7, Tiger Woods 8. Now remember, what also hurt Tiger is did a lot at the end of the 90s.
Yeah, he did damage at the end of the 90s. That's still pretty high considering what he did in the 90s.
Usain Bolt 9, Kobe 10.
All right. Are people complaining about this? I mean, I know that's what people do with lists, but is there a lot of complaints?
Maybe some complaints about Phelps, but that's just not knowing. I mean, because people are going to get upset because it's a swimmer. But when you see how decorated he is, once you're opening up the Olympics and you're putting in gymnasts and the like, you're going to have to put in Michael Phelps. You're just going to have to, whether you want to debate number one or whatever. But I'm sure there are people of the 4 major sports that think LeBron James better than Brady. That might stir a little bit too, because Brady won more, but I don't have a problem with that, really. I mean, LeBron James is starting to do kind of what Brady did, right? I mean, the fact that you're playing basketball at 38, 39, an elite level basketball, as opposed to being a quarterback in the NFL where every rule is made to protect you. LeBron James is starting to enter, like, defying the odds territory as an elder statesman. So I think it's a
100%. And in fact, I've said this before, Don. He will pass Brady in terms of the craziness of it. Because if you're still playing basketball at a high level, Don, at 41, 42, that beats playing quarterback at 45. But, that's just an insane thing to be able to do.
But what's interesting to me is we've brought it up too. Federer to an extent too, to be able to have in tennis contemporaries that close to each other in the top 10 is astounding. It'd be like,
all right, we'll talk about it with
crazy.
We'll talk about it with all of you next. Phone lines jammed at 1-800-919-3776. We'll also get into some football today. Of course, our last day before the All-Star break is over, and Michael returns tomorrow. It's Peter and Don. It's the K Show on Yes at 98.7 ESPN New York.
That's Aaron Judge.
Yeah. Sometimes you get the feeling you're watching a Hall of Famer right in the middle of his prime.
The captain is rolling.
They're going to need a longer tape measure.
A monster blast. See ya. Wow.
First of all, how do you know all this?
Streaming now on an all-new episode of The Story of My Number.
You were the 75th overall pick by the Boston Red Sox in 1985.
It was a great decision on our family part, I guess. Not mine.
Yeah.
There's 50,000 people there. Here comes Fidel Castro, jumps the fence and shakes all of our hands.
Gracie Cashman sits down with Yankees legend Tino Martinez on The Story of My Number, presented by the New York Lottery. Streaming now, exclusively on the Yes app.
The finest premium arena club in the world comes alive in Brooklyn. Welcome to Crown Club, the Brooklyn Nets' most exclusive club in Barclays Center. Featuring a menu curated by a major food group with Carbone classics and a world-class wine list. To learn more about premium memberships at Barclays Center, visit brooklynnets.com/crown-club.
Designed for exploring new frontiers. Michelin, motion for life.
We're ready. Away we go. And a look at MI New York.
That is a big hit.
Catches the call and catch. It's 100. Bang. There's another.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions. Telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready? Explore teaching at teach.org.
For years, one company has battled to deliver business products the next day with no freight charges. Now, WB Mason, with their famous fleet of trucks and drivers, faces their biggest challenge, rescuing shipping and packaging buyers from expensive freight charges. That's right. Now, boxes, stretch film, and packaging tape are delivered the very next day at amazingly low prices. So, who do you call for fast delivery and no expensive freight charges? Who but WB Mason?
4 delicious pieces of chocolate, 3 crisp wafers, 2 layers of sweet Kit Kat filling, 1 incredible break. Have a break. Have a Kit Kat. Now served up in birthday cake.
If you're an asbestos victim, pay close attention. Billions of dollars are being paid out to people like you. We should know. We're Whites in Luxembourg, the law firm that already won over $9 billion for men and women just like you. That's right, over $9 billion for mesothelioma sufferers and their families. We know you're short of money, and we know you're short of time, so we fight hard. Call Whites in Luxembourg at 917-LAWYERS. That's 917-LAWYERS. Whites in Luxembourg, winning big for the little guy.
I thought something is different about my man.
It's Blue Chew.
Blue Chew.
Blue Chew?
Blue Chew.
Blue Chew.
Blue Chew. Blue Chew. Blue Chew. You've done it again.
New Icy Hot Pro Massaging Balm. Easy to grip and massage in the power of 2 max strength pain relievers. Ice works fast. Heat makes it last. New Icy Hot Pro Massaging Balm.
Popeyes has the best of both wings. Our juicy chicken is marinated to perfection with 2 distinct twists on all 6 flavors. Whether you prefer our spicy bone-in wings or our classic tender white meat boneless wings, we've got the best of both.
Got that chicken from Popeyes.
K-Show. 98.7 ESPN New York. Inside the Numbers brought to you by Eisner Amper. Caitlin Clark reached 400 points and 200 assists in 26 games. The fewest career games needed to reach those marks in WNBA history. The previous low was by, pretty great one, Sue Bird with 33. That's Inside the Numbers, brought to you by Eisner Amper, a leading business advisory firm helping clients transform their companies, build capital, innovate processes, and mitigate risk. Make Eisner Amper part of your solution. Learn more at eisneramper.com/solution. All right, Don, we just broke down the list, the big ESPN top 100 athletes of the 21st century. A lot of fun to be had with that list, and a lot of people with a lot of opinions on said list. So let's not waste any time. Let's talk to the people. We'll talk to, we'll start with Rob in Mississippi. Hey, Rob.
I'm on. Hi, gentlemen. First-time caller, frequent listener. I enjoy your work very much.
Thanks, man.
I'm calling to discuss the ESPN Top 100 athletes of the 21st century. As a former D1 collegiate decathlete, I think it's obligatory that I call and defend Ashton Eaton not being included on the list. Ashton Eaton is a 3-peat NCAA champion, back-to-back Olympic gold medalist in 12 and 16, 2-time world champion, broke the world record twice, is the only man to score over 9,000 points twice. He is easily the greatest decathlete of all time, and he deserves his recognition. And not to mention, decathletes are considered the world's greatest athletes.
Well, that's why you have an argument. That I think is the best argument, and I appreciate that call, Rob. Obviously, Don and I did not even think about him or know who he was. However, when you think about, Don, how incredible the decathlon is, if you have the all-time greatest decathlete, you'd think at least making the list would be in play.
Yeah, and then just to confirm, I did not notice him in the top 100, so he may have been.
So not only
not see him. I honestly don't have a lot of knowledge of him, but obviously looking at the accomplishments, both reading up on it while he was talking about it and listening to him talk about it, yeah, he certainly belongs because they are considered the greatest athletes, but not unless. And I also get some pushback on Twitter. I do realize Serena did play in the Olympics, but if she never did, she'd still be number 2.
Yeah, she's not there for the Olympics, right. Of course. Let's go to Dave in Yonkers. Hey, Dave.
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
Hey, buddy.
Well, they have Phelps as the number 1 athlete of since 2000. That makes 0 sense. He was never the fastest swimmer in the world, like ever, never.
No, but he broke the record
the
for.
fastest swimmer in the world is the 100-meter. Yeah, he's got the most gold medals because he swam a lot of events. But he was never ever considered the fastest swimmer in the world, ever.
But
how can you be like the best?
But he's the most accomplished. You know, we could probably. But you're using the semantics, Dave. Of there are plenty of quarterbacks that were more athletic than Tom Brady, but because Brady, won 7 Super Bowls and went to 9, he's going to get the nod. Right? I mean, Randall Cunningham was probably a better athlete than Tom Brady, but Tom Brady's going to get it because of the accomplishments. Michael Phelps is going to get it because he won more Olympic gold medals than anybody.
Okay,
right.
But swimming, the point is to swim as fast as you can, right? That's what the event is.
Well, and did he win the individual medley by not swimming the fastest?
Yeah, but those are the fastest swimmer in the world is like the 100-meter swimmer.
Okay, but he still won more gold medals than anybody. So I don't understand your argument, Dave. There are, I'll use the same analogy again. Randall Cunningham was probably a better athlete, but the better quarterback is going to be Tom Brady because he won more rings, won more games, played longer. I mean, listen, I'm not going to sit here and break down swimming. I don't know it well enough, but it's not the fastest; it's the greatest. And how can you say that Michael Phelps isn't the greatest swimmer? He broke every record gold medal-wise. So there might be somebody that's faster than him.
Well, but I don't understand.
So maybe in one event, Peter, because he looked at the whatever event he mentioned, that proves that you're the fastest swimmer. Okay, so maybe he would have lost that event, but every other event that he seemed to participate in, he won incredibly more than anybody else who ever swam. So why are we having this conversation?
I'm looking at the 2008 Summer Olympics medals for him. Just that one.
Okay.
He won the gold in the 200-meter freestyle. He won the 100-meter butterfly, the 200-meter butterfly, the 200-meter medley, the 400-meter medley, the 4x100 freestyle, the 4x200 freestyle, and the 4x100 medley. I don't understand. So there's one event that is considered, he's saying, the one that makes you the guy. Right. He didn't win
that's
that?
That's the one. But again, it's almost like saying, well, that Clayton Kershaw is on the list. Well, Nolan Ryan, obviously Nolan Ryan didn't play in the 2000s, but like Nolan Ryan's a better pitcher because he threw harder than Clayton Kershaw. So sometimes it's not about being the fastest overall in the history of swimming, it's just being the most accomplished. And when you break every record there is, Peter, then you're going to be ahead of whoever might have won one single race that this guy declared is the one that shows you who the fastest swimmer is. Okay,
let's
happened.
Let's keep the calls going. That was very confusing. Let's go to Tim in Hawthorne.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for the call. Big fan of both you, Don and Peter. Kind of like what the last guy was saying, I have kind of a problem with Phelps being number 1 on the list. I get it, most decorated athlete of all time. Also, in part because he swam so many events. But in my opinion, Usain Bolt should be at least, if not on par with him, higher. He's never lost an Olympic event. Everything he goes for, he gets the gold. Additionally, his records, his world records, he still has today. And in my opinion, what really says more about an athlete than saying that you're the fastest man that's ever lived. I think Usain Bolt down at 9 is pretty unfair to him, but I get why people go with the overall medal count. I think there were
It's a fair argument. It's a fair argument because the level of domination Bolt had in the events that he had them over 3 Olympics is insane. But yes, he just doesn't have the same level of decoration.
He's still 9. I mean, he's not that disrespected. I just think that when you're talking about 23 medals to 8. Now, granted, he participated in more, but, you know, Tom Brady, so we take championships away from Brady because he played longer than most quarterbacks do?
No, it's more that this is just a different comp because swimming has so many events. It's just a different thing.
But I do think people are being Captain Literal Man when we start talking about athlete. So technically, is Usain Bolt a better athlete than Michael Phelps? Yeah, probably. Because he's the fastest man in the world, never lost a race. But when you broke records for medals and medals in one Olympic, I'm sorry, I can't have that big of a problem with it. I just can't.
Bolt, by the way, maybe the coolest stat, he is the only sprinter ever to win the 100 and 200 titles at 3 straight Olympics, which is pretty wild. 08, 12, and 16. So, listen, I wouldn't have been upset. If they'd given him number 1, I wouldn't have been shocked. But my mind went to Phelps first.
Yeah.
Let's go to Dave in Queens. Hey, Dave.
Hey, guys, can I join, please?
Please.
Yeah, Dave, go ahead.
Thanks a lot, guys. Happy 718 Day, the area code of Queens, Brooklyn, and the Bronx.
There you go.
Happy
There you go.
718
That's a
Day.
good one.
All right? Thanks, guys. And I'm in a bar, right? And I'm watching you with the sound down, and I'm listening on my app, so I'm getting good perspectives here. And I'm liking how you guys are, like, thinking. You're really deep thinking. You're both touching your beards. And you guys are seriously getting off the good body language on this list, and it's been a good topic. Thank you. Okay? I'm watching it like a scout over here.
Thank you.
I'm really into this list with one guy. And actually, I have a 1A guy, but one guy I've seen omitted, LaDainian Tomlinson. He's a 21st century player. He was drafted in 01. How is he not on this list? Now, we know running backs are devalued a long time now, whether that's good or bad, but he is. I mean, there's no list without LaDainian Tomlinson in the top 100. And is there any running backs on this list? I'm not saying it's the best position in the whole world, but LaDainian Tomlinson's numbers were sick.
Well,
he was
let's
a
start here.
phenomenal player.
Let's start here. Is LaDainian Tomlinson the best running back of the 21st century?
No.
He's up there, Pete. He's up. What you say quick? No, Don. Think about it. He was dominant.
Adrian Peterson
the man
was
had
better.
29 touchdowns.
Adrian Peterson was better.
No, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not. But in my opinion, okay, we could. That's why we have sports radio.
Right.
LaDainian Tomlinson's year, his best year, dwarfs in a way.
Well, no, his best year was crazy, right? He had a great career. There's no question about it. I love LaDainian as a player, but you're talking about the window that LaDainian was awesome was 01 to 08. And his best year in there, he had 1,800 yards. But, Don, it's also an interesting era then, because at that time, we had, like, multiple running backs pull together 2,000-yard seasons over a period of time.
Right, but Adrian Peterson led the league in rushing 3 times to Tomlinson's twice. Peterson eclipsed 2,000 yards. And also, give him credit, this guy rushed for 1,000 yards at the age of 33. So he played a lot longer than Tomlinson. I think, I just think he was better overall. His accomplishments end up being better, and then Peterson is going to eventually be in the Hall of Fame the way Tomlinson is. But I think with his longevity, led the league more in rushing. Let's see, Peterson was a 7-time Pro Bowler. He was also a league MVP. Let me just check Tomlinson quick. Tomlinson was a 5-time Pro Bowler. Never won the league MVP. Won the AP MVP. Listen. We're splitting hairs. I think Adrian Peterson was better.
And no running back made it anyway.
Right, which is odd. But but unfortunately, this is not the era of the running back. But if I were to put a running back on there, I would put Adrian Peterson before I would put LaDainian Tomlinson. Both are great. Both are Hall of Famers. But I think there should be more outrage that Peterson wasn't on the list than Tomlinson.
1-800-919-3776. A lot of opinions on this. We will get to other stuff today, but I'm not going to lie. There's a lot.
Because it covers
a lot
everything. Like, everybody can get involved in this because every sport is represented in some way, shape, or form, right?
No, it creates fascinating conversation. So, Don, do me a favor. Talk about cars.
All right, get more in a new Mazda.
Switch to Square and join over 4 million businesses worldwide. Turn tables fast with Square Register at the counter or Square Terminal in your hand. Get a POS that connects to a KDS to handle orders ASAP. Easily take orders in person or online. And with Square Banking, get a loan quickly for everything from small repairs to the biggest dreams. Gain time and peace of mind with restaurant tools that bring everything together. Switch to Square today. Visit square.com to get started.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always. So you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
Let's explore your future with Udemy. You can learn how to program and build websites, study design and create logos, improve your presentation skills, and sell your ideas. With Udemy, you can learn practical skills from thousands of online courses taught by real-world experts. Explore your future. Udemy.
Hard water makes it hard to keep your home looking like the work of art you've always envisioned it would be. Culligan softeners reduce hard water buildup and your cleaning time, transforming every drop, every splash, every rinse into the fine art of a long-lasting clean. With a Culligan water softener, revel in the breathtaking beauty of your home, just the way you've always pictured it. Culligan, water you love.
There's an easier way. From repairs and cleaning to remodeling and more, Thumbtack makes it easy to care for your home. Download the Thumbtack app and start caring for your home today.
Minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson Disease Association. Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
Do you spend hours maintaining your gutters? Save that time with LeafGuard's maintenance-free system. Call 1-833-2-GUTTERS. Mesh filters sit on top of your gutters, building up debris and eventually clogging. Then they need to be cleaned too. Honestly, your home should have been built with LeafGuard gutters. LeafGuard's wraparound hood deflects debris and keeps water away from your home. The one-piece seamless system is strong, 20% thicker than average, and built to last. Plus, LeafGuard is guaranteed to never clog for as long as you own your home. Right now, get a complete LeafGuard system for only $99 down, $99 a month, and $99 installation. You'll also receive a $100 Visa gift card with a free gutter inspection and in-home estimate. Damage from clogged gutters can cost you thousands. Never worry about clogged gutters again. Don't wait, you've still got time. Call 1-833-2-GUTTERS today. That's 1-833-2-GUTTERS.
Dupixent can help people with asthma breathe better in as little as 2 weeks. So this is better, even this. Dupixent is an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma that's not for sudden breathing problems. Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Tell your doctor right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Ask your specialist about Dupixent.
It's so easy to get your windshield replaced using SafeLight. Tell the people why you haven't done it. Started off as a chip, and it just keeps going. So what do we do now? I've scheduled an appointment at SafeLight.com.
SafeLight Repair.
SafeLight Replace.
Yes!
SafeLight Repair, SafeLight Replace.
1 in 6 black men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in his lifetime.
But when it's caught early, it's highly treatable.
For more than 30 years, PCF has funded cutting-edge research. Go to pcf.org/knowyourrisk to learn more about prostate cancer.
It's your life.
This is sort of interesting. And also odd. Let's hit some diamond notes brought to you by London Jewelers and driven to you by Nissan. Obviously not a lot of baseball to discuss today, but one cool thing. Next year's schedule is out because, you know, why not drop it on a day when no one is thinking about your sport at all? NFL schedule release is like a national holiday. Baseball, it's like flatulence into the wind. But either way, this is neat. I have no complaints about this. Don, a 3-game set at Citi Field next July 4th between the Yankees and Mets. That's awesome. That's something.
So what is July 4th what Friday? So yeah, that's perfect. That's nice.
That's really neat. Now, that's actually worth note. That's cool.
People always find something to complain about, so I could preemptive complain for people that I go away on July 4th, you know, whatever. I mean, I think that, you know, that's a cool time. I think it's a little much, the Yankees and the Mets every single year, but, you know, it's, you know, do it, the weekend series, 4th of July weekend. That is kind of cool.
Listen, it's all about where the teams are at, man. Like,
that's it.
You know, it seems like they never match up at a great time. Like, if somehow next year both teams were just smoking, that July 4th, it would be hot. It would be a big deal if they both mattered at that time. That's Diamond Notes brought to you by London Jewelers. Visit London Jewelers today at any of their 7 locations, including the Americana Mall and the Mall at Short Hills. And it's driven by Nissan. You deserve a car that thrills you, and Nissan's got an exciting full line that'll put goosebumps on your goosebumps. So experience the thrill for yourself. Shop your local Nissan store at nissanusa.com today. I was actually at Yankee Stadium today.
Cool.
Doing something cool that everyone will see soon. But yeah, neat to be at that place when it's empty. It is a pretty dope stadium. I'm not going to lie to you. Incarcerated Bob is red hot that Carmelo Anthony didn't make the top 100. He said his argument is college championship as a freshman for Syracuse. I mean, it was a very big deal.
It was
a Hall of Famer in the NBA, top 10 scorer of all time. The question I would ask is, who's the lowest NBA player on the list? Jacob, do you know? Because that's going to be the question. Is Carmelo better than the lowest on the list? Now, that's not the answer, because obviously you can still make the argument he should be on there regardless. But I am curious for who they exactly considered. Now, Kawhi Leonard is 85. Is there a case to make for Carmelo being better than Kawhi?
Yeah. I guess there's a case to be made.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue he's a better offensive player, and, he's a top 10 scorer all time, obviously.
I mean, so obviously he's talking about the whole list, not the top 25.
No.
Chris Paul's 83. Chris Paul's a better player.
But it's close.
Not, listen, I did bring him up. Is it just the fact that he's kind of one-dimensional? He's just a scorer? Does that hurt him?
It might.
No championships hurt him. I know he won with Syracuse, but he didn't. Well, I guess the closest he got was he went to a conference final with the Nuggets. So that probably what hurts him. It does seem like, looking at this list, that they do value championships. So that might have hurt him.
Let's take some more calls.
Thanks for contributing
from the people. Yeah, thank you, Bob. Let's go to Dennis in Bergen County. Hey, Dennis.
Hey, Don, Peter, how you doing?
Good, what's up?
Hey, friend.
Actually, Don, I grew up right down Route 21 from you in Wallington.
Oh yeah,
nice little town.
I bowled in Wallington.
Little Warsaw.
I think Walling.
Little Warsaw.
What is it's between.
Wallington is right next to East Rutherford.
No, I know exactly where it is. I bowled at that bowling alley in Wallington. It's right off of Route 17, and I think it has the distinction of either the most bars per capita or the most places to purchase alcohol per capita.
We were once in the what do you call it? The
what, the Guinness Book of World Records?
What's the record book?
The Guinness Book of World Records.
Yeah, Guinness Book of World Records for most bars in a square mile.
So
we got that going for us.
Which is nice. Yes.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
But anyway, I wanted to get to my point about Tiger being, what was he, number 8?
Yes.
And you guys said before you guys cut to commercial that he had a lot of success during the 90s. And I'm not sure if you guys could look this up. I've been playing golf my entire life. And I'm pretty sure Tiger, out of the 15 majors that he has, only won 2 in the 90s. The Masters in 97.
Which was a big deal.
And the PGA.
And the PGA.
Right, which is a big deal.
And
but he's the highest golfer. But I'm just saying that I just wondered, I speculated whether...
And not only that, I know this is strictly sports, but what he's done to change the game of golf.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much.
He made golf cool. He put a lot of money in the other players' pockets.
Oh, listen, I don't think
no one would flinch.
No.
Don, no one would. Thank you, Dennis. Yeah. No one would flinch if Tiger had been top 5.
No, I was surprised he was as low as he was. But I'm trying to figure, was he hurt by the fact that there was some success? But you can't erase the 97 Masters. That put him on the map. That was huge. It was a huge accomplishment that happened technically in the 20th century. This was not a list of the most significant athletes, the richest. This just was getting, I think, down to the actual play. If you're going to factor in his significance to the sport, he's number 1 with a bullet, for sure. Listen, Michael Phelps is great. I don't know, people diving into pools more because of Michael Phelps.
That it's what? If that was the answer, was how much did you impact your sport? Right. You could actually just not even have the list.
Right, exactly.
You could just put Tiger,
so
and that's it.
I'm not sure that factored in. But to his point, I would have thought it was a lock that Tiger Woods was in the top 5.
Now, we did think we guessed the top 5 yesterday. We got it pretty wrong. Is all we got right Serena?
Oh, yeah.
I think that might have been the only top 5er we got right.
Yeah, because we had I think we had Brady. I believe we had Brady in the top 5. Where was Brady?
Oh yeah, we did. We had Brady top 5 too. We had him at 1.
No, we had Brady and we had LeBron James in the top 5 for sure. For sure. I did not have Michael Phelps. I don't think I had Messi in the top 5. But you know what? I want to criticize this list. I do, or I should say critique it, not criticize. It's not bad, Peter. There's always going to be a couple of eyebrow raises. I think Garnett's too high.
Yeah, Garnett at 23 is weird. For sure.
But you got a list of 100 athletes, or even just the top 25. And the fact that we were able to predict 22 of the 25 on the list says that we're pretty simpatico with it. Now, and one of them, we took a flyer on the bowler, all right? And also, we thought maybe Shaq wouldn't be there just because of the accomplishments in the 90s. But I'm not floored by the bowler not being there and Shaq being there. So I think this list is fine. What was McAfee talking about?
Yeah, I don't know why. It was our top 5 was LeBron, Tiger, Brady, Serena, Messi. So we got Messi was top 5 in the end, right?
He was 3.
So we got Messi, we got Serena,
Brady,
and we got Brady.
Yeah,
we just didn't LeBron and Tiger.
Right. They had Phelps. We had Tiger.
You know what, Don? I'm proud of the list. I'm proud of us.
Listen, it's a great talking point when there's nothing really going on. It includes everybody, and there's nothing really to get overly fired up about or a joke about it. Now, there's things I have problems with. I don't think Crosby should be 1 ahead of Kevin Garnett, but the fact that there's only 3 hockey players on it, interesting. But hey, I kind of live with that. I'm sure the bowling community is a lot more upset than I am today.
Yeah, but no, I feel for the bowling community.
I always do.
This portion of the K Show on 98.7 ESPN, by the way, is brought to you by Genesis of White Plains and Mercedes-Benz of New Rochelle. Proud member of the Pepe Auto Group, the name you've trusted since 1968. A lot more to get into, including tons of phone calls. People want to debate this list. Don, we do want to talk a little bit about the power rankings for the NBA that we saw, and where they put the New York Knicks. And if you're wondering, wow, there's a lot of list talk today, what's going on? I'd respond by saying it's July 18th. They're literally not playing a sport today.
Well, you just said, what's going on? Nothing.
Yeah.
And when there's nothing going on, we break out the lists.
And by the way, I love lists. We'll get into more of that all next, right here on 98.7 ESPN New York. And yes,
The Michael K. Show on Yes is brought to you in part by Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer today.
Stay straight for the next 200 miles.
Get into an Audi and go your own way. Find your way to exceptional offers during the Summer of Audi sales event at your local Audi dealer.
Trains. Trains that sense what isn't on the schedule. Trains that use the power of Dell AI and Intel to see hundreds of miles of tracks, clearing the way so you arrive exactly where you belong.
You know, when I take the bike out like this, all my stresses just melt away.
I hear that. This bad boy can fix anything.
Yep, tough day at work. Nice cruiser sorts you right out.
When I'm riding, I'm not even thinking about my painful cavity.
Oh, you shouldn't ignore that.
And every time I get stressed about having to pay my bills, I just hop on the bike, man.
Oh, come on, man. You gotta pay your bills.
You don't have to worry about anything when you're protected by America's #1 motorcycle insurer.
Well, you definitely do. Those things aren't related, so...
Oh, that is a vibrating pain.
They say, Lauren, what's the secret to a long, sustained relationship? It's Blue Chew.
Blue Chew.
Blue Chew? Blue Chew. Blue Chew? Blue Chew. Blue Chew is an online subscription-based service that sends these affordable tablets directly to your home. No one even has to know.
Meet my boyfriend, Jake.
What's up, everyone?
What is all over your feet?
They're flowers. I study botany.
Resting dad face back there likes plants, too.
Grab some pruners. Let's prune.
Dive into cool summer savings with a new HVAC system from A.J. Perry. With payments as low as $132 a month and up to $3,200 in tax credits, now's the perfect time to upgrade. Call 844-668-7555 for a free consultation today.
Popeyes has the best of both wings. Our juicy chicken is marinated to perfection with 2 distinct twists on all 6 flavors. Whether you prefer our spicy bone-in wings or our classic tender white meat boneless wings, we've got the best of both.
After careful review of medical guidance and research on pain relief, my recommendation is simple. Every home should have Salonpas. Powerful, yet non-addictive. Targeted and long-lasting. I recommend Salonpas. It's good medicine.
Big season. More reasons to say yes. Wow. Yes to the ultimate viewing experience.
Aaron Judge crushes one. What a win for the Yankees.
The Yes app. Download now.
It's the Wolfpack.
That's right.
Yo, big shout out to ESPN, man. You know, a lot of people have problems with ESPN. They got this to say and that to say. But I'll tell you what, when it comes to trolling everyone with a good list for conversation, and who's better than our website? And this list, the top 100 athletes of the 21st century, has really made what is an absolute dead time in sports a lot of fun. And with that, let's hit a quick leaderboard update brought to you by Player 2 Golf Apparel. We mentioned Tiger. He's not playing well. He's 8 over.
Where are they again, Peter?
The Open Challenge.
Thank you.
Where are they?
Tiger. Which course? Where are they at again?
Pretty sure it's Scotland.
You know, they're over there in Great Britain or Great Britain or Jays. And speaking of which, Shane Lowry, who's Irish, I believe, is number 1 right now. He is
the Royal Troon.
Oh, the Royal Troon. That's what it's called, the Troon. Shane Lowry is 5 under. Justin Thomas is at 3 under. Justin Rose, 2 under. Xander Schauffele at 2 under as well. Beautiful Brooksy Koepka is at 1 under. The man who was basically favored to win this thing, Scotty Scheffler, he's doing Scotty Scheffler things. He doesn't always come out and grab a lead, but what he always does is just put up a competent enough first-round score to be sitting there and play, and that's what he is. He's 1 under. He's 4 off the pace. He's in good shape. Neiman at even, Tony Finau even, and like I said, Tiger's 8 over, which is not what you want. That is your playing. No, not if you want to play on Saturday. Right. That is your Open Championship update. Brought to you by Player 2 Golf Apparel. Player 2 is everyday clothing to play golf and golf clothing for everyday living. Check out their selection of polos, vests, hoodies, T-shirts, and lids at player2.com. Look good on and off the course in Player 2. That's player2.com. And interesting that we mentioned the leaderboard update here, Don, because I know that you are interested with the Tiger Woods conversation generally.
Yeah, because so you do the math because you're the golf guy. What do you think the cut's going to be for tomorrow?
Well, I didn't. Without looking at the whole thing, I see the leaders at 5 under, and I know Tiger's at 8 over. So without looking at it, I'd have to guess that the cut line's going to be like 1 over or something.
So he's probably not going to make the cut unless he just has a monster Friday. You know, it's not going to happen, bro. I mean, it's just not. He's just moving in the wrong direction. He is. So I get it. You want to hold on to it. Like grim death, I get it. I'm not a golf guy, but I'm a fan of teams. I'm a fan of players, and so I get where your head's at. But I think you're thinking way more with your heart than your head.
I see. Here's Anthony. Here's the danger. Do you want this to break down and eventually Don and I get into a screaming Michael Don-like fight?
Yeah, that'd be awful for radio.
Because we repeat the same argument over and over, because Don cannot budge me on this, and I clearly cannot budge you on it, and that is Tiger is god-awful at golf right now. Like, he is just not golfing
not just right
well.
now. It's been the last 2 years. And
he got into the accident in 2021 or 22, late 21, and since that accident, he has not been able to find it again. And I understand why someone would go, well, that's it. That's over. He's going the wrong direction. But what I'm saying is, golf being the kind of game that it is not the same to me as a basketball player who you just see a precipitous drop-off in their production, or a quarterback who can no longer make the passes. I believe that as time goes on and as Tiger gets more years between him and the surgery, there is a chance his body continues to recover, and he has a couple of good seasons.
All right.
That's what I believe.
Very valid argument. Well said, well stated. But the other thing that works against him is time. Because he's not 30 recovering from an accident. So as time goes by, he gets closer to 50, and it just becomes hard, even if he never had the accident, to expect to be able to compete at a high level in majors at 49, 50, 51. Like so as he starts to get further and further away from that accident, he's also getting older and older, and now it's just his body, just as bodies do as they age, begin to break down and make it harder and harder. That's why it was the miracle when Nicholson won, and when he was 46 years old, and nobody had done it even close to that age until, Tiger was able to do it. But now he's up against a lot of other things besides the pressure, which I didn't even bring up, which I still think was a thing before the accident. And now you throw the accident in, and now the age. It's not trending in the right direction. If you keep talking about moving down the road, well, then it should be trending to your point, where he's now in contention a little closer. But now it's like withdrawing, not making the cut, or finishing north of 50. So he's not trending in the right direction. So that kind of defeats your thought of, well, let's just give it time as he begins to heal and get away from the accident. Well, it's just not, hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm going to be on the air the day that it happens.
Don, are you sad to see the news that we've lost Bob Newhart?
Very tremendous human being. Very, very funny. And I had a chance to meet him 10 years ago. He played at Bergen Pack, and Nancy and I went, and there was a security guard that's a big fan of the show, and he let Nancy and I backstage to meet him, and it was just a thrill. 94. Does Michael take 94? I think that's right on the line for Michael. I probably would say no. I don't think Michael takes 94, but tremendous loss for sure. And he was still active. He was still doing stuff, so.
I don't know if Michael takes it. I think you have to take it, right? How do you not take it?
94 productive years, no question about it. Now, when I met him, it was right after the Rangers had lost to the Kings in the Stanley Cup Final, and he's from Chicago. So I had mentioned to him that I called Game 1, and the Kings were playing the Blackhawks, and I came this close to going to Chicago. And at that point, I had never been to Chicago. And his answer was like typical Bob Newhart. He's like, those sons of... It was just very funny, Bob Newhart, just always in character. So rest in peace, 94 years old. And because it's me, Anthony had to double check to make sure he wasn't celebrating his birthday.
Please, Don. But let's be sure.
All I said was, are we sure?
And that's right. And you had to double check. And then he gets back in my ear, and the Rolling Stone has it too. Because TMZ had it, and they're like, they're on a nice streak there of getting things right. So I trusted that, and then we got confirmation from several other places that he has indeed passed.
Let's go to Griffin in Connecticut, who's been holding on for a long time.
Hi, Griff.
Hey, Griffin.
Hey, guys. I was going to talk about the WNBA, why I think the reason they're scheduled where they don't have any games today. But this list, it doesn't. A couple of things don't make sense to me.
Okay, go ahead.
One of them is Mia Hamm in the top 100 when most of Mia Hamm's success for the U.S. Women's National Team was in the 1990s. She was a part of that 1999 team that won the thing and finally won the World Cup. So both of her World Cups are in the 1990s. So I don't know how she's on there. Christine Sinclair, who has the most goals ever by any soccer player ever, with 190, is not in the top 100. That doesn't make any sense to me. If we're going to have Mia Hamm in there, why is Christine Sinclair not in there when since 2000 she's had the most goals at 190?
Yeah, that is odd. I don't know.
That's the mistakes they made. They made a couple, it seems like, based on timing that I don't love.
Yeah.
Good job, Griffin.
I also think the reason Sabrina's not participating in the three-point contest is she's participating in the Olympics. So I don't know if she wants to, because once the three-point contest, they have to go all the way to get to the Olympics. That starts next week.
It starts Friday.
So I don't know if she wants her body to be all of that. Caitlin not participating in a three-point, that I don't understand, because she does have a complete rest until the 15th. So I don't know. That I don't understand. But I think that's maybe one reason why Sabrina did it.
I just wonder, when you see all of these names out of it, Peter, whether it was was this something they arranged? Like, listen, either we all go or none of us go. And because they just wanted the extra rest. And, okay, listen, you're a professional athlete. You deserve the rest. I mean, Griff makes a good point. The Olympics start a week from tomorrow. So you want to get over to France, get acclimated to the time difference and all that. I don't know when their first game is. So that might have something to do with it. But doesn't it feel like, since, like, all three of them are out, or especially the two, that it was just like, hey, you don't go, I don't go. But you're not helping your league. You're still trying to promote your league. You're still trying to strike while the iron's hot. You know how many more people would watch this now than last year because of everything that's happened with Caitlin? And the WNBA is on the map right now. I think it's a huge missed opportunity.
Let's go to Alex in Virginia. I'm curious what Alex has here for us. Hey, Alex.
Hey, boys. How we doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I was curious to step away from the list thing for a minute. If you've seen this 4-leg parlay someone has ongoing, it's going around X. If you're not familiar, I can read it to you real
please.
quick.
I'm not,
so please.
So this was placed around Christmas time this year. He had Michigan to win the NCAA championship, which they did.
Okay.
Chiefs win the Super Bowl, which they did. Celtics win the championship, which they did.
Okay.
The last one left is the Yankees to win the World Series. He put $100 on it to win $100,000. But my question to you guys is, he can cash out right now for over $9,000. Would you do it?
And he's got the potential to win what?
$100,000, over $100,000.
If for $100 investment, I'm going to write it out.
I because the gap is so big, and I can't believe, I know that the fourth one, obviously it's exponential, but I am surprised it's 9,000 to 100,000. If you had told me he could cash out at 40, Don, I take it.
Of course.
But if $100,000 is life changing.
No,
exactly.
It is. Now, again,
but if you're at 9 versus 100, Don, the Yankees have a good enough chance to let that ride.
Listen, the Yankees are not in first place, but you know they're going to the playoffs. They're going to be in the tournament. So it's not crazy. It's not like you've got the money on, say, a team that's on the outside for the playoffs. It's not like you've got it on the Colorado Rockies. I mean, you have it on the Yankees. They're a playoff team. They haven't won in going on 15 years, but would you be shocked if they did? And for a $100 investment, and the gap is 9,000 to 100,000. You know, I'd write it out. Now, if I didn't have a job, if I desperately needed those $9,000, then I'd cash out. But if all things are even, Peter, I'm going to write it out. You?
I'm writing this out. It's just too much money. That's just an obscene amount of cash.
But what about you, Anthony? I mean, 9,000.
Yeah, show
ain't
us
nothing.
something.
What about you, Jacob? 9,000 ain't nothing for you.
I'm not sniffing at 9,000, but I also won't pass it up either.
So you tap out then? You'd cash out?
If I put like $5 down, yeah, I'm cashing out. I don't want to take no chances. I mean, 10,000 go a long way. I could even take like $100 and probably get a little more odds on something else.
Yeah, because that's the thing. It's a $100 investment, right? So you're already in the plus. You know, $8,900. I can understand somebody that makes a certain amount of money or whatever, a young kid saying, you know, I'm going to cash out. But for me, for $100 investment, then I got a chance to make 91,000 more, and it's the Yankees.
You got to ride.
It's not. And again, the Yankees haven't won in a while. But who would you put it on if not the Yankees?
You know exactly. You know who I always fight with about these though.
With Ballard?
Ballard, yes. Good call. Ballard makes these parlays, and he'll show me. He probably has one right now. I think he does. He'll get the NCAA championship. He'll get the Super Bowl. He'll have, he already has a few. But then, this is what kills me about him. He always then has the Packers to win the Super Bowl. I'm like, dude, your bets are actually pretty good. Stop touching the Packers. What are you doing?
Now, listen, I'm not a big gambler, but I would think that if you're going to have a system, your system shouldn't be in a 4-leg parlay. Head, heart. Either bet all with your heart or all with your head. Like, why if you're being strategic on 3 and you need all 4 to come in for you to be able to win, why are you straying on one of them and using your, it doesn't make any sense. Then just bet all with your heart then. How is that the formula that wins?
That doesn't make sense. You got to just keep going. Let's go to someone who's always makes sense. Let's go to Danny in Long Island. Hey, Danny.
I'm pretty sure there's a drop involved with what Don just said, but I'll leave Peter to figure that out. The play is to hedge the bet. Now, if the Yankees make it to the first round of the playoffs, which they will, they'll be a predominant favorite. So you take 5 G's, you lay it on the team that they're playing. If that team pulls the upset, you're winning $50,000. So you're breaking. You're going to win something.
This is why we take your call every day.
That's right. You're So there's a bet out there right now that you could bet the Yankees not to win the World Series. And since it's not a single elimination sport, you can see it coming a mile away. The Yankees go down 2-0. Now all of a sudden, things you can start laying off some of that bet. But I want to talk about the All-Star game yesterday. By the way, I'm enjoying the break of baseball and the boys running the asylum here. Starting tomorrow, Dean Wormer is back in town, and we are going back to algebra and advanced
back to double secret probation.
That's right. Advanced literature. We're going to be thrown back. I haven't heard an SAT word in 3 days, and now tomorrow we're going to get imbibed. We're going to get all the words back. It's great. Imbibed. Now listen. So yesterday was the 50th anniversary of me and my family being up in the Catskill Mountains on our vacation, getting ready to watch the All-Star game. And my father went out to a supermarket and bought 2 Tree Tavern pizzas. Peter, if you were alive in 1974, I can't tell you what a frozen pizza. The frozen pizza game has come so far. It's probably as from what it was back then.
The Tree Tavern Pizza, my buddy John Fernino worked at Tree Tavern Pizza. I believe it was located in either either Patterson or Totowa, New Jersey. I think it was Patterson, New Jersey. So it's a local thing, Peter. Tree Tavern, that's a big deal at a certain age.
Yeah. All right. So I'm eating the pizza with my father. We're listening to the game. We couldn't even get it on the radio. 50 years later, I get the Tree Tavern pizza the other day. I pop it into the toaster oven. I burn the edges slightly like the old man did that night. I carve it up. My wife is horrified that I'm eating this thing. And all of a sudden, the Santana Bananas take the field. What were those uniforms? What are they trying to do to Major League Baseball?
Trying to sell jerseys.
With those uniforms?
They're trying to sell jerseys. It's not bad enough, Danny. It's not bad enough that you don't have the star power you did when we were kids, and you have trouble recognizing these guys that aren't Mets or Yankees, and now you don't even have the uniforms to know what team they play on.
You don't have a uniform and a number to know who the hell you're looking at. At least let them wear these uniforms, which are beautiful. The St. Louis Cardinals, the Detroit Tigers, they're classic pieces of Americana. Let them wear their uniforms, for God's sakes. No, can't do it. We have to have on these I don't even want to start blurting out words. I might say something I shouldn't have said. I almost threw up my father's pizza in my mouth. It ruined my whole beautiful moment. This morning, then, I take my mom out to lunch, and I had a picture of the pizza and the box. I said, "Ma, 50 years ago tonight," and I showed the pizza. I thought she was going to cry.
Oh. It's so amazing the things that we remember and recall, Peter, from our youth. And listen, everything's changed. So the All-Star game is never going to be what it was when we were kids.
Imagine that.
But that's whether it's the uniforms or players jumping teams and leagues, and now we have interleague play. There's so many reasons why it's just never going to live up to expectations. But that was a cool story because I remember that being the All-Star game was a big deal, Peter. That was something that you always watched, and you rooted like hell for your favorite team's league. And I was being a Met fan, I rooted for the National League, went crazy, and it's lost everything. It's lost its complete life. I didn't even see what the ratings were for it. I guess I can look that up, but it just all of them did, but the one that was always special, the one that was always different was baseball. And now that's kind of fallen to the same vacuum the other All-Star games have fell in.
And it was cool for a couple of reasons. I mean, number one, you could actually have a competitive game, because you're not as worried about injury, right? So it's not the Pro Bowl. It's not even basketball. Like, you can play hard defense and offense and have a real game. And then they added the stakes, which, Don, that was like going too far, right? They added the World Series stakes. It was ridiculous. But now they messed up one of the most key fundamental parts, which is just cool jerseys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it hurts. It hurts me inside, Don. In my heart and in my soul, I don't like how it feels. What could make me feel better in a moment like this is the question.
Oh, quickly, 7.6 million across Fox, Fox Deportes, and Fox Sports streaming services. So combined, it was 7.6 on all those services.
You know what's going to make me feel better?
What is that?
Some dick in Manhattan. Wow. Hey, Richard.
Hi, Peter. Hi, Don. Listen, as far as the lists, there have only been 3 NBA players who were the main men on 2 different teams, championship teams. You got Kareem, Milwaukee and the Lakers, and you got LeBron, Cleveland and Miami, and the Lakers. Kawhi is number 3. He led Toronto in 2019, and in 2014, he led San Antonio. Those three other guys were all aging. Duncan was 37, Parker was older, much older, and so was Ginobili. He was the main man.
He was
it
the
was
guy.
all Kawhi, so you've got to rate Kawhi way up there.
Yeah, that's
a fair point, and at least Richard, in terms of putting him notably above a Carmelo Anthony, for example. 2 rings with 2 teams.
Peter, what Carmelo did will never ever be done. A freshman to lead an NCAA team, that will never. So that's got some importance. But you can't put him above Kawhi. All right, one more thing, fellas. A swimmer versus a runner. Are you guys kidding?
Why?
Running is open to everybody in the world. Swimming, you got to go to a pool. So when you say Usain Bolt is the greatest runner, he's the greatest out of billions of people. Everyone
You know
can
what?
run.
That's a great point.
It's a great call. Richard, it's one of your best calls.
Wait, Peter. That's why Messi is greater than Tom Brady. Not even comparable, Ronaldo. They're the greatest out of billions of players. Football players are great out of hundreds of thousands of Americans, which is beautiful. You can't compare. These guys are the greatest out of billions of people, soccer players and runners. So, guys, you got to look this stuff up, man.
I love it.
So, okay, I'm giving you a little anthropology, sociology lesson here. Fellas, always a pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Richard, you know what? Good call. Richard, there over the last few weeks, there have been some calls that were absolutely dreadful. And then you do something like this and totally redeem yourself.
A little dumb and dumber.
That's just, by the way, it's not even teaching us anthropology, Richard. It's just being smart. It's just thinking through it. You're right.
It's so great. It's right in front of our face, and he found it. Now, I'm excited. I'm excited coming up. Dave Maloney is going to join us.
Oh, and by the way, Don, a little surprised he didn't make the top 100 athletes of the 21st century.
He would definitely make the top 100 Rangers. That's for sure.
Damn right he would. And we'll talk to Dave. That's right. We will talk to him next, right here on 98.7 ESPN New York. And yes.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always, so you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
We have food at home. Now means something deliciously easy with Home Chef. With our quick, energizing breakfast options to enjoy on the go, tasty lunches ready in minutes to help you power through the day, and easy prep, no mess dinners for busy weeknights. Your favorite place to grab a bite is right at home. Get breakfast, lunch, and dinner delivered to your door by Home Chef. And don't forget dessert. Order now and get 18 free meals and free shipping plus free dessert for life.
At Away, we know what real travel looks like. So when we make luggage, we think about how you actually get from place to place. How travel brings pit stops and welcome detours. How you deserve an easier, more flexible way to pack. Because when it comes to luggage, how you actually travel matters. Away, designed by travelers for travelers.
Custom Ink helps us celebrate and drive our students' achievements with custom gear. They love Custom Ink's different styles and designs. We love how Custom Ink makes the process simple with their easy-to-use design lab, expert artists ready to help, and unbeatable customer service. Custom Ink allows our kids to show everyone their accomplishments and the pride they have in our school. When we place an order, I know they got our back, so we can focus on the kids.
Custom Ink has hundreds of products to help you feel connected. Upload your logo or start your design today at customink.com.
Listen, we get that ordering a suit online can seem a little risky. That's why we have a home try-on program. Go to theblacktux.com/try. With so many good options, it might be hard to choose. We'll ship your selection to you to try out for 48 hours on us. When it arrives, put it on and make sure every detail's perfect. Once your 2 days are up, pack it back in the box, attach the free shipping label, and send it back to us. And when you're ready to rent for real, just head back to the Black Tux and make your order official.
First of all, how do you know all this?
Streaming now on the Yes app.
There's 50,000 people there. Here comes Fidel Castro, jumps the fence and shakes all of our hands.
The story of my number, presented by the New York Lottery. Streaming now, exclusively on the Yes app.
When I hit 80, I needed help around the home. A friend of mine told me to call Freedom Care, and they'll pay my granddaughter to take care of me.
Funded by Medicaid, Freedom Care allows people to choose who provides their care, and the caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift.
Life is sweeter with her around.
Nanny gave me so much joy as a child. Now it's my turn to return the love.
Call now to find out benefits and pay and how fast you can get started.
Every time you log into Hard Rock Bet, you might find something new. New games added every week with exclusive titles you can't find anywhere else. Just behold. Well, hold on. We're gonna need to scroll a little faster. Faster! Slots games, table games, live games, blackjack, rocking reels, soaring eagles, raking that bacon, wonderlands, buffaloes, wizards, eruptions, explosions. Add it all up and that's thousands of games in the palm of your hand. Whew. Download Hard Rock Bet for 500 guaranteed free spins and more.
Chris Sheeran back here for the Michael K. Show. This look at the second half beginning for the New York Yankees is brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. The second half of the season gets underway tomorrow here on Yes, when the Yanks open up a 4-game wraparound weekend set with the Tampa Bay Rays. Garrett Cole will get the ball in the first game, followed by Nestor Cortez. Marcus Stroman and Carlos Rodon will get the rock in Monday's afternoon getaway day game. Luis Gil won't tow it up until Monday's tilt with the Mets when the Yankees start to wrap up their 2024 Subway Series and look to hold serve with their crosstown rivals. Our coverage for tomorrow night's game against the Rays here on Yes commences with Yankees batting practice today, followed by the pregame show, and first pitch is scheduled for a little after 7. It's the Yankees and the Rays. Coverage starting tomorrow night at 6 on Yes, immediately after the Michael K. Show.
Here on the Michael K. Show, take you up until 6:30. It's always a pleasure to welcome in the great, and I mean great, Dave Maloney, my partner during the course of Ranger games during the season, and he's got a special event that he wants to promote that's coming up on July 25th. It's not just important to hockey fans, but all of fans, and he joins us here on the Michael K. Show. Dave Maloney, Don LaGreca, Peter Rosenberg, how are you? How's your summer?
Really good, guys. Really good. I can't believe we're into, well, the middle of July already, and it sort of seems short given what the Rangers were able to accomplish and fell just a little bit short. But all in all, and I've been following your burgeoning music career, I think you might want to stick to the radio business.
Oh.
But, you know,
the problem. You know what the problem is? It's one thing. I'm starting to sing songs that I think Dave likes, and I'm ruining the songs for him.
Well,
that's the
I
problem.
get it.
Yeah, you know what, Peter? It's but it's good stuff. It's good sport and all that great stuff. So it's all really good. And as you mentioned, I can't believe it's been a year since this inaugural shoulder check event came on board. And as you mentioned, Donnie, it's next Thursday. So we're gearing up for that.
Yeah. So just tell us about the charity.
Well, it's an initiative that really, the genesis of which was a young boy, Hayden Thorson, who was, an evolving goaltender, and then at a very young age decided to do what he did and put in the position now that we're all kind of paying a little more attention to those vulnerable teenage years, right? And since COVID, the suicide rate for that particular group is up 30 to 40%. And shoulder check, of course, the hockey angle. And Hayden was, like I say, a goaltender that was on the track. He was on the elite programs. And when he did pass, his mother and father got upwards to 300 letters and notes and things from a cross-section of people, kids, teachers, coaches, parents. So this kid has left a legacy. And really, when you incorporate, of course, when Donnie and I talk about shoulder check during the season, it has to do with hockey, and it's really kind of a neat thing what they've done, and it's really making contact, just reaching out. And one of the expressions they use is life is a contact sport, and to be able to recognize and recognize people perhaps that haven't been recognized, or perhaps they've been recognized and yet might be struggling. So it's just it was a wonderful event last year, and we hope that it'll be every bit as wonderful this summer.
So how can we get involved? How can we go?
Well, the thing is, it's next Thursday night at Terry Connors, and you can check out information at shouldercheck.org. Tickets, and what the event entails this year will be there's upwards to 20 to 25 pros between men and women. Chris Kreider has become basically the front guy for this initiative. Last year, Adam Fox and Mika Zibanejad, Barclay Goudreau, Jonathan Quick all took part in the event. Adam Fox is getting married. Mika's still over in Europe, and of course Barkley's on his way to San Jose. Jonathan Quick will be involved, and other guys. Trevor Zegras, young superstar from the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, done a great job of recruiting and top Americans. Cole Caulfield. You've got Charlie McAvoy coming in. Mason McTavish, a great center iceman. A couple ex-Rangers in Kevin Shattenkirk, Ryan Strome, Kevin Hayes, Matt Rempe. Rempe will be out, so what they'll do is they'll pick up sides and have a little game, and it ended in a shootout last year. It will also include some of the social media, different social media personalities. Swaggy P is a guy, and Coach Chippy are guys in the generations where social media, these are guys are hockey angle guys that are going to put on some skills. So. And then that'll start on the weekend. It'll start an under 14 youth tournament in Stamford, Connecticut, that will include 8 teams, boys and girls. So it's a celebration of hockey, of course, but a bigger celebration to really, and what the Thorson family has determined to do is to continue to raise money for mental awareness for vulnerable kids, those vulnerable teenage years. And I think they were somewhat overwhelmed with the support last year, and it's gotten even greater this year. So it's a wonderful night.
Yeah, and all that information is there for you at shouldercheck.org. You can learn how to get tickets. You can also just learn how to get involved with Shoulder Check otherwise. But what an awesome, awesome initiative that you guys have over there, Dave.
Yeah, it really, what the really neat thing is in an age where, it's in a lot of ways we take sides, pick sides, and whether it's the political world, the athletic world, and there probably isn't enough respect shown for the other side, right? And I think that what this does, it's a very simple gesture, and the hockey world has embraced it. The National Hockey League has done a great job with Shoulder Check Group all season long from Stamford to Seattle. They're trying to reach out to youth groups, high school groups, and it's not even so specific to hockey. It's just that initiative to, reach out, check in, make contact, and I'm really quite proud to have a small role. Another guy that's going to be involved is John Brancy. We're going to be singing the national anthem. Of course, John Brancy of the Madison Square Garden. So I just would urge everyone, once again, to check into shouldercheck.org, and all the information is there and available. And last year it was a sellout.
Awesome.
So we're expecting and hoping that will be the case again. And I do thank people like you guys and the different people that I've been able to befriend over the years in the media world around this great city, and everybody seems to be willing to do their little part to really make something that was founded on the basis of tragedy into something tremendous. So I do thank your help, guys, and I hope next Thursday at Terry Connors Arena in Stamford.
Yep, excellent. Looking forward to it. And again, shouldercheck.org. We're talking to Dave Maloney. While we have you, Dave, you mentioned Rangers gave us a thrill. They gave us a run to the conference final. And are you a little taken aback that, a lot of the fans feel like they haven't done enough in the offseason to better themselves? And I'm trying to remind fans, hey, you won the President's Trophy. You lost to the team that eventually won the Stanley Cup. You're close. But what do you think needs to happen for this team to take that vital next step?
Well, you know what? That final next step, right, Don? And Peter, I think you're probably aware the final next step is probably the biggest step, right? I mean, when you get down to 4 and get down to 2, it's a big step. You're that close. And I think, there are cap situations from a Rangers standpoint. There's future financial implications. I think there's a couple things, like teams, Jacob Trouba was on a broken ankle. Adam Fox was on a banged-up knee. A couple of pretty important guys. And what I've always advocated is the willingness to grow from within. I was tremendously pleased to see them re-sign Kako. It's a guy that's still 23. And when you look at Florida, Sam Bennett, Sam Reinhart, first high picks, now in their late 20s, are impact players in the league. So Lafreniere took a big step. Kako will continue to move up the lines. And the Rangers with Keandre Miller, they've extended Braden Schneider. And I just think, all things being equal, there's still a lot of really good pieces in place here. Now, could they be a little more rugged? Could they have a little bit more of a snarl? Yes, I would not disagree with that, because at the end of the day, for sure, Florida had the whole package.
They did.
And at the end of the day, you're right. And I think at the end of the day, there's only one team that doesn't have to come up with answers, and that's Florida. And depending on where you finish during the season, you've got to come up with some answers. I don't think the Rangers have to come up with many answers. And that's my observation. What do you think, Tom?
I think, and I thought this last year too, is that their best avenue is to have their young players grow into stars. And we saw it with Alexei Lafreniere. And he can get even better. And Kako missed 33 games last year, so there's every reason to believe that he can maybe have a Lafreniere season here. Hedl coming back from his injury. They basically didn't have him all of last year. So to have these young players who are affordable become stars, that's going to allow you to address maybe the biggest question next offseason. How much money is Igor Shesterkin going to command? And are you going to be able to fill the holes if you give Igor the money that he might be asking for to avoid free agency? So everybody wants to go out and make big splashes and big trades and all that, but in a salary cap sport, Dave, the best teams are the teams that can groom young stars and take advantage of how cheap they are while they become stars.
Well, there's no question. And you throw Braden Schneider into that mix, you throw Keandre Miller into that mix, and there's no question the key guy is Shesterkin. And that is a big, that's a big step in how that's all going to fit. So if it was that easy, everybody would win, right? And I do want to say in defense, I'm not sure how Jacob Trouba gets so crucified.
I know.
This is a guy that's a consummate leader. This is the guy that has respect in the room. This is a guy that gets it. Now, again, playing on a broken ankle, could he and will he, my sisters are, continue to work on his foot speed? And I think when it comes down to the game, you're not getting any younger, and the things that he can work on, and we see guys improve as they age. But boy, oh boy, my observations, I'm not a Twitter guy or an X guy, but boy, oh boy, from an outsider's perspective, I just think it was terribly unfair for Jacob Trouba to have to go through what he went through with the right to do the things he thought was right for him. But I'll tell you, he has the utmost respect in that room. And for those of us that had the great fortune to play the game and understand what it takes to win, the Rangers have a winner in Jacob Trouba.
I thought we saw the worst side of fans during this offseason and the treatment with him and the family. Hey, listen, you negotiate no movement clauses for a reason, and he's got the right to execute that. He wants to be a Ranger. He's the captain. He's beloved in that room. And the one thing, the luxury we have, Dave, that the fans don't sometimes is access to these players. And if they got to know Jacob Trouba, they'd know as much as it pains the fans to see him fail, he feels it even worse than you do, all right? So he's going to try to improve. He's
Yeah.
going to try to be better. And maybe it means he's a third-line defenseman. Maybe it means adjustments are going to have to be made to his game at the age of 30. But I still think if he has a bounce-back year, I would not be surprised by that at all.
Yeah, no, and again, we talked about it too, Donnie. I mean, there are reasons you are in the rotation where you get in the rotation. But we try to express the fact that it is the rotation of the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Jacob Tull is, he's a penalty killer. He'll get his minutes and the thing. So it's all like I say. If it was that easy, it'd be easy. I think you can probably turn the page now. Think about moving forward. And Peter Laviolette and his staff, I thought, were terrific last year. There's no reason to expect anything different there. This club, this franchise still has a lot of really good pieces in place, and it won't be long that we'll be seeing it up again and getting after it.
July 25th at Terry Connors Rink in Stamford, Connecticut. And you want to check out more information, you could do that at shouldercheck.org. Dave, I'm not going to get probably a chance to talk to you, but have a happy birthday. I know you're just coming up at the end of the month. You're a little bit older than Peter. His is coming up at the end of the month, too. But enjoy it, man. I'm looking forward to the hockey season.
Yeah, I am too, and I really do. I'm heartfelt in appreciation on behalf of the Thorson family and the Shoulder Check group for giving us a little bit of time to talk about something that we hope will continue to grow and grow for really good reasons. So thanks, guys, and we'll stay in touch, Tony, and we'll go from there.
You got it, Dave.
Thanks, Dave. Take care, man.
All right, guys. Appreciate it.
The great Dave.
I love that,
Maloney.
man.
A wonderful man, wonderful cause. Next Thursday, of course. Don, let's take a break.
Sure.
And dive back into these busy phones when we get back. We're having a great time today breaking down this top 100 athletes of the 21st century. 5 o'clock hour. We'll also get into a little football, a little Knicks as well. It's Peter and Don on Yes, 98.7 ESPN New York.
Switch to Square and join over 4 million businesses worldwide. Start with our point of sale. More than a system, it's the brain of your business. Train your staff in minutes and connect your POS to a KDS to handle orders ASAP. And with Square Banking, get a loan quickly for everything from small repairs to the biggest dreams. Gain time and peace of mind with restaurant tools that bring everything together. Switch to Square today. Visit square.com to get started.
Put it on the rest. Put it on the rest. Put it on the rest.
Never read a line of poetry, I'm not a poet, but I sit up in the back of my buttons cause I'm fresh. Never read a book on how to rip it, I just saw it, I don't need your explanation cause I'm better than the rest. Better than the rest. Better than the rest. Let me take you for a ride. I can make you feel alive.
That's Aaron Judge. Yeah.
Sometimes you get the feeling you're watching a Hall of Famer right in the middle of his prime.
The captain is rolling.
They're going to need a longer tape measure.
A monster blast. See ya. Wow.
The finest premium arena club in the world comes alive in Brooklyn. Welcome to Crown Club, the Brooklyn Nets' most exclusive club in Barclays Center. Featuring a menu curated by a major food group with Carbone classics and a world-class wine list. To learn more about premium memberships at Barclays Center, visit brooklynnets.com/crown-club.
So ask yourself, how can you contribute to protecting all life on our planet? Because the future is in our hands.
Stay straight for the next 200 miles.
Get into an Audi and go your own way. Audi to exceptional offers during the Summer of Audi sales event at your local Audi dealer.
I'm the Big C. I'm here to tell you about skin cancer. Skin cancer is the cancer you can see.
Is there skin cancer on me right now?
I'm not a dermatologist, but you know who is?
Who?
Your dermatologist. Everybody has to get checked.
We're ready. Away we go. And a look at MI New York.
That is a big hit.
Catches the call and catch. It's 100. Bang. There's another.
Imagine a sectional with endless configurations for only $250 a section. Now you don't have to imagine, thanks to my brand new Modular Bob.
Ooh, I've seen these.
Not like this, you haven't. It slices. It dices. Take a look at this. And that. The console is powered up to charge all your devices. With 5 unique pieces and infinite configurations, we can do this all day.
All day.
Oh my Bob!
Bob's Discount Furniture.
This is a keepsake frame. This is actually a photo from my wedding. I'm Adam Weiss, founder and CEO of Keepsake, the mobile app that makes it easy to have your photos printed, framed, and shipped to your doorstep. You just choose a photo that you love, you can preview it in over 100 frames, and in a couple of days, you're gonna receive your photo in a beautiful, handmade frame. So if you've got a special photo on your phone, install the free Keepsake app. We would love a chance to frame it for you.
At Manchester City Football School, both boys and girls can train and develop at a world-class facility.
This course helped me develop my football skills a lot.
I have enjoyed learning to play like an actual Manchester City player.
All the stars above, all the stars above. All right. It's the K Show on 98.7 ESPN New York and the Yes Network on this Thursday, July 18th. Don, I'm only 44. I'm only in my early 40s for another 5 days.
And then,
I guess I'm already in my mid.
Yeah, but when you're rounding numbers off, you could still round down to 40.
If I wanted to. I mean, I guess.
But not, you won't be able to do that after your birthday. 45, you're going to have to round up.
Whoa. Are you saying I have to round up to 50?
Yeah, because if you're rounding, you don't have to do anything. You just say that's my age. I'm just saying that when you're rounding up or down, the magic number's 5.
Oh, boy.
So if you want to round up or down, you can only round down at 44. But once you get to 45, you got to round up, from what I understand of the rounding.
That's not
rules.
true.
Those are the rounding rules.
By the way, Hulk Hogan at the Republican National Convention tonight. It's fake news.
That one is not as surprising as Amber Rose. Amber Rose was surprising. This isn't surprising.
It's not as surprising.
Hulk not at your wedding, though.
See, Anthony, point God, right there. That's the thing. Hulk wasn't at the wedding, which is a different thing. Let's talk to the people. We actually have 2 lines open right now. For the first time today, 1-800-919-3776. We have Joe in Minnesota. What's up, Joe?
Hey, Don. Hey, Peter. How you doing?
Good. How are you? Hey, pal.
When they do these lists, ESPN, who does them?
I don't. Anthony, do you know who it was that contributed to this?
I know it's a mix of writers and personalities,
see if I can get the answer to that. But yeah, it's probably listen. You've got a lot of people that they cover every sport now, so it's not like they don't have experts that can throw their opinions in.
I would just be interested if, like, the Athletic did something like this, the same thing. But with Michael Phelps, he did the medley a bunch, which is 4 different strokes. And I know a lot of people don't watch the Olympics. A lot of people don't watch swimming. A lot of people watch track and field. So, I mean, it depends on what you're thinking about at the time and what's going on at that certain time.
Well, listen, I think everything was everything was pretty much represented. You can't have a problem, I think, with the top 25 really outside of. We were surprised Garnett was as high as he was, but I think Olympic sports, tennis was represented. That the bowler that didn't end up in there. There were 70,000 votes from ESPN contributors. So. We cover tennis, we cover golf, we cover hockey now. So I think it was well represented. It's all going to be in the eye of the beholder. But really, is anybody floored by the people that were on this list? They're all tremendous. Even Garnett, which we question, Peter. I mean, you look at his accomplishments. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a former MVP. He's a champion, 13-time All-Star. He's not nobody. But it's really tough to kind of break down. Listen, we know Michael Phelps from his Olympics, but we're not swimming experts. We're not bowling experts. I don't know anything about cricket. And you know more soccer than I do, but I wouldn't call you an expert on it the way I'm sure people that voted on it were. So, there's going to be biases for sure. Listen, when I looked at the accomplishments of, was it Jason Belmonte, I think they disrespected bowling. But, are we going to put darts in too? Billiards? I mean, you got to draw the line somewhere, right? I had somebody tweet at me before saying he's disgusted that auto racers are on this. They're not athletes. Takes some hand-eye coordination to be able to drive a car that fast. But,
Let's go to Shine, who's upset about what happened with Belmonte. Hey.
Hi, guys.
Hi. Hi.
Well, I am very disappointed. I'm a professional bowler myself, and to not be represented. For the best bowler in the world to not be represented, someone who changed the sport, it's just really disappointing. Auto racing, I even understand that. It takes stamina to stay in that car and drive 100 miles an hour all day.
100, 200.
But, to not be represented as a bowler, just hurts my feelings.
Well, listen, I honestly, I would watch and participate in bowling way before I would ever do it with golf. Okay? I'm a bit. I love bowling. I do. I think it's fun, but I can understand somebody, and I'm not going to go get crazy on New York sports radio to talk about it. It's a form of recreation. It's not really a sport to me. Like darts isn't a sport. Billiards isn't a sport. Golf I'll accept as a sport because there takes a lot of stamina to walk up and down. But Peter, I do think you got to draw the line someplace, right? And I think bowling, billiards, darts falls in more recreation than sports. Is that fair, or am I being disrespectful?
No, I think that's fair. That's reasonable to me. I'm not offended by that. Let's go to Dale in Queens. He has something to say.
Hi, Dale. Great.
Dale, you're upsetting all of us.
Yeah.
Let's go to. What are we going to do? We got to go to Ed in Carteret. Hey, Ed.
Hey, guys. How are you?
How are you, bud?
Well, I'm calling because I was at Foo Fighters last night. You may have heard the show was interrupted because of the weather.
Yes, we did. We did hear about this. Sure.
Yeah, I was going to mention, and I wanted to just, add to the discussion that you guys have had for years over all the brand new stadiums we built, and none of them have roofs. And I was thinking, if you don't mind me giving you a timeline, show started at 8:05. At just about 9:20, Dave Grohl was announcing about the storms that were coming through, and they promised they were going to try to squeeze out at least one more song, Everlong, as a matter of fact.
Oh, but that's a big one.
Exactly. So they, they basically told everybody to evacuate to get undercover. This was it was about 9:23 when they interrupted the show, and they called it at 10:30 because of the storms. But while I was undercover, I was remembering you guys and ranting and saying, if there had been a roof built on this place, the show would still be going on right now,
Well, and I wonder if Steve Cohen had owned the team when they built Citi Field, whether he would have forked over the extra money to have a retractable roof. And the fact, and I've ranted about this, as you've said, Ed, for years, Rob Manfred should just announce right now that they will not approve a stadium built going forward unless there's a roof. It is ridiculous that in the 21st century that games are being postponed and the money that gets lost. And now what happens? Are you getting your money back? Like, you just saw a short show. Like, how are they going to deal with what happened last night at the concert? How are they dealing with that?
Right now, I don't know. As far as I know, they're considering a completed. I have not seen any plans as to whether they're going to do a refund or reschedule. There was a story on Billboard about how disappointed Dave Grohl was about the cancellation.
Yeah, it's not their fault. I mean, and obviously there was you can't be outside. You get electrocuted, for God's sakes. And there was also thunderstorms and lightning. Listen, I don't know how they reconcile that. I mean, you saw like an hour of the show. Do they think that's enough? That just stinks. But I would hate to have, because I'm sure he spent good money, Peter. Those tickets are not cheap.
No, it's a. How can that be the only plan? How could there not be?
I don't know. What's the line? Like, how long does a show go where you say, all right, listen, it was shorter than we wanted it to, but I'm not giving you your money back? So what did they see, about an hour of the show? Is that enough? I mean, that's not nothing. But it's not.
But it's also not enough.
Not what you want. Like, how do you give like half the money back? I don't know how you deal with that. I think there's an understanding when there's an open air concert that you buy tickets at your own risk. I just think that's the unfortunate thing about it.
That part is true. But guys, by the way, this portion of the K Show on 98.7 ESPN New York is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz of New Rochelle, proud member of the Pepe Auto Group, the name you've trusted since 1968. Don, on the other side, we'll talk to more people, but let's also talk a little bit about the New York Knicks and where they are at, according to a recent power ranking of the not the WNBA, the actual NBA, the National Basketball Association. You see, that's how high I am for WNBA All-Star Weekend.
That's right. That was
a
Freudian slip. He's in.
We'll do all that next. We'll talk to you. We'll have ENN at 6 o'clock. It's Peter and Don. It's the K Show on 98.7 ESPN New York.
The Michael K. Show on Yes is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more.
Hey, so I found a betting system that's really working great for me.
So did I. What's yours?
I set up an hour-a-week time limit on FanDuel. I can also set up wager limits, so I only bet what I can afford, and betting stays fun.
Right.
So what's your system?
What's that?
Your system. What's your system? What is that?
Every bettor has a system. Make FanDuel's responsible gaming tools a key part of yours.
My name is Karan, and I'm from Brooklyn. I work for the City of New York as a police administrator. I oversee approximately 20 people, and my memory just has to be sharp. And I realized my memory was just changing. I did my own research, and I decided to give Prevagen a try. My memory became much sharper. I remembered more. I've been taking Prevagen for 4 years now. It's a life changer.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription.
I'm Dave Portnoy, and I'm asking for your help in supporting the Tunnel to Towers Foundation as it continues to pay off the mortgages for fallen first responder and Gold Star families who died in the line of duty and left behind young children. Not only that, but they also build mortgage-free smart homes for catastrophically injured veterans and have recently committed to eradicating homelessness amongst our veterans. Tunnel to Towers has been caring for America's greatest heroes for more than 2 decades, and we ask you to join us on our mission to do good.
I knew it. I thought something is different about my man.
It's Blue Chew.
Blue Chew.
Blue Chew?
Blue Chew.
Blue Chew. Blue Chew.
Blue Chew. Blue Chew. You've done it again.
Chevy lets you begin every day fully charged, so you can go farther. And so can your money. Tow with confidence. Plus, stay connected with available OnStar technology. For summer adventures, Chevy's got you. Current qualified lessees can get this Equinox for around $199 a month. Or well-qualified buyers get 1.9% APR when you finance with GM Financial.
Icy hot. Ice works fast. Heat makes it last. Feel the power of contrast therapy. So you can rise from pain. Icy hot.
This summer, snacking just got serious. Introducing new $3 footlong dippers. The world might not be ready for them.
But at $3 a pop, your wallet definitely is.
Do you spend hours maintaining your gutters? Save that time with LeafGuard's maintenance-free system. Call 1-833-2-GUTTERS. Mesh filters sit on top of your gutters, building up debris and eventually clogging. Then they need to be cleaned too. Honestly, your home should have been built with LeafGuard gutters. LeafGuard's wraparound hood deflects debris and keeps water away from your home. The one-piece seamless system is strong, 20% thicker than average, and built to last. Plus, LeafGuard is guaranteed to never clog for as long as you own your home. Right now, get a complete LeafGuard system for only $99 down, $99 a month, and $99 installation. You'll also receive a $100 Visa gift card with a free gutter inspection and in-home estimate. Damage from clogged gutters can cost you thousands. Never worry about clogged gutters again. Don't wait, you've still got time. Call 1-833-2-GUTTERS today. That's 1-833-2-GUTTERS.
The W.B. Mason Yankees postgame delivers the goods.
What a great opening day win for the Yankees. We're dogs out here.
That was a Yankee classic right there.
Watch the W.B. Mason postgame after every Yankees game on Yes and the Yes app.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the... Peter and Don, 5 o'clock, 5:05 to be exact, on Thursday, July 18th. Lot going on, and by that I mean nothing with regard to sports. I mean, Don, is there anything you care less about than the up and down?
No.
All right.
You?
So
you love it. You're eating it up.
No, I didn't watch the second today, but I'll throw it on this weekend. So you got the golf happening.
Of it all.
You have the soccer, the big international soccer all ended last Sunday.
Sure did.
The All-Star game, I think, happened.
It did.
The only thing I know that happened at the All-Star game, the only thing I'm sure of happening was the national anthem. That happened. And baseball will be back tomorrow, Don. And I'm sure when Michael is back with us tomorrow, we'll get into some expectations and hopes for the local teams.
And why not? I mean, both teams are playoff teams going into the stretch run here of the season. So there's a lot to talk about. I think we've salvaged the season. We started out thinking it's going to be all about the Yankees and the Mets are going to be also-rans, to where, now both teams right now are wild card teams. Yankees a lot closer to being a division winner, but we're going to have baseball, man. And then before you know it, Peter, before you blink, we're going to have camps opening up and expectations around those Jets and Giants. So it's all going to start to happen.
Oh, baby.
It's the dilemma that I feel. I'm sure you feel it too, and I think a lot of people listening feel it. I love the summer. I do. I enjoy, the vacation time and not the oppressive weather we've had over the last couple of weeks, but I enjoy the summer. And so you've got that whole struggle of you're looking forward to football, but that means the summer's over.
I know.
And it was interesting, like listening to the morning show, Dave's ready to just punt on the summer and just go right to September and just get right to the football. Now, I love me some football, and I can't wait for football, but I do enjoy the summer.
The reason I can't overly look forward to football, Don, is because once we get to football, it starts to go so fast. Then the football season flies by. And then before you know it, the year's over. I can't. I have to sit here and soak in the heat and sit in my own filth, if you will. and just sort of enjoy what the summer is.
You know what? You just made a tremendous point.
Point guard?
Not sure it's point guard, but I that level. But it's very good. Is that the first 6 months, although technically should be exactly the same time-wise as the second half of the year, it's not. The first 6 months, really struggle to move around, right? You have February, March. If you're in school, it's like an eternity, right? You're trying to just get to the spring. You're trying to get to the summer. And then once you get to the summer, Peter, the summer flies by. And then you're right. We kick off football. And the next thing you know, you blink, it's week 11. You're already into Thanksgiving. Then it's Christmas. And then the year's over. So even though technically the 2 6 months are exactly the same amount of time, tell me that the second half doesn't fly by. It feels like twice, if not 3 times as fast as the first 6 months.
That's the thing, Don. So that's why I sit here in my own filth. and by the way, today, after walking around Yankee Stadium for a couple hours in the sun, quite literally sitting in my own filth, and I enjoy it, and I lather it up, and I rub it all over my face. Because, Don, my birthday is always dead in the middle of the summer, right? I always, obviously July 23rd, everyone enjoys their birthday, at least I do still. I do not currently dread my birthday.
Yeah. But you're also long past the days of the pin the tail on the donkey and opening presents in front of your friends.
You don't know.
That would be let's incorporate that back into adult parties, like a little drunk pin the tail on the donkey.
I hear what you're saying.
Is that still a thing? Are there people that don't know what I'm talking about?
You think there may be people out there who have never heard of...
Yeah, is that possible? I take things for granted, Peter, as you know. For all I know, there's a generation of people that didn't play that game. Anthony, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I never played it. I know of it.
See, so
I know parties that had it.
See, we're already into that hazy. Like, if you're in your 30s, you're probably, I've heard of that. Like, I've heard
Jacob
of the Civil
said
War.
no. That never happened for Jacob.
Jacob, you ever heard of it, though?
I've heard of it, but I've never played it, never indulged in it.
Do you know the rules?
Honestly, I'm kind of...
All right, there's a picture of a donkey on a wall. You pin it...
It's pretty self-explanatory.
You pin it to a wall, and then you've got the tail. They put a blindfold on you. They spin you around 3 times. That's why you can't do it drunk, because you'll probably throw up. And then they point you straight, and then you're supposed to try to get as close to the tail portion of the donkey as possible, and whoever gets the closest wins. And what you win depends on the party, the kind of party you're having. It's
if I'm being honest, Don, I do not think I ever played it. I don't think I did.
If I played it, I was 5. I got to tell you, our game definitely has done much better. I mean, you take a look at like turn of the century games where you've got like the cup and then the ball's got the string, you got to catch it into the cup. I mean, how did people in the 1800s want to just move on? How you talk about like wanting to live till 100? Like those people are probably like, God, take me now.
Well, you've always pointed out, Don. Think about how bad the rules were for football. I mean,
from a game standpoint, it was just like these are things you twiddled your thumb until you were like sent off to fight for our country. That's why they didn't really put any thought into play. There was no play. Life was hard. Act accordingly.
Yeah, no one has time for your reindeer games.
Like they didn't have Grand Theft Auto when they were in the late 1800s. They actually had games where you were able to go out there and shoot. It was called go try to survive. Go get food. So definitely, pin a tail on a donkey is certainly not a game that my kids will ever play. And there's a shame to that, but I also get it.
Looks like Kathy Hochul is standing strong on the pause on congestion pricing.
I don't want to get political, but that alone is a reason why I'm throwing my support. I am so much against the congestion pricing as somebody that would be affected by it. So you go, girl.
I think she may have been aware that was the response. I don't know if she thought she'd specifically get a "you go, girl" like 1998, but.
Is that the year? Is that where I was? Is that the year I was in?
I don't know. It's 90s.
I don't know.
You go, girl definitely feels 90s.
I don't know. It was obviously a joke, but
let's go to Vernal.
Yeah, why not?
Vernal. Vern.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Hey, Vern.
Hey, Peter. Hi, Don. So, Peter, I want to apologize to Don for a minute.
right.
because, as a Yankee fan, I know Michael K's work. I know you, Peter, from Hot 97. But I always saw Don as, the guy that made me laugh and, the disgruntled guy all the time.
Okay.
But I was in my car one afternoon. I caught a Rangers game. And, Don, I have to tell you, the way you called that game was magnificent.
Well, thank you.
I mean, your enthusiasm came through, your excitement came through. And I was a casual fan at that point. I watch every now and then, but the way you called that game had me watch the rest of the whole hockey finals. Even though we was out, I watched, and I was upset that Connor McDavid got the MVP. I thought they screwed that up, but other than that, I just enjoyed the way you called that game. I felt like I was there. I felt like I was watching it on television.
Well, that means a lot to me, man. Thank you.
And I have to say, I felt like a fraud of the show. I think if anybody calls in and says that they're a fan of the Michael K show and doesn't know all three of you guys' body of work, they're a fraud. You have to know each one of you guys' body of work individually to really appreciate the show.
Well, and listen, everybody's going to come to that moment on their own time, but we do appreciate it. I'm very proud of this show because I do believe that all three of us are able to contribute different aspects to it. And you got turned on because you're a Yankee fan, so you knew Michael and you knew Peter's work on Hot. And all right, you came around to me. I appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words. That was a nice moment, Peter.
I know. You know what? I felt something. Not sexually.
Oh, I didn't think that until you brought it up, you filthmonger.
Let's go to Kevin in the truck. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Kev.
Hey, guys. What's up?
What's up?
What up?
Long time listener, first time caller.
Thank you, man.
What took you so long?
Love the show. Listen every day while I'm at work. But I just wanted to know, did Lewis Hamilton make the list?
Yes, he did.
He did.
He was in the top 25 too.
Top 25. All right, question.
Yes.
There's a guy, Mark Marquez, MotoGP racer, dominated for like 6 or 7 years. Straight wins. He raced for Team Honda. Now he races for Ducati. Did he make the list?
I don't think so.
There's plenty, because I was thinking, there was a guy. Who is the guy, Peter? He kind of looked like Rex Ryan, the drag racer. His name?
John Force.
Yes. I was thinking about that. Now, John Force obviously would be more in the 80s and 90s, so he wouldn't be in the 21st century. Yeah. But, where do we draw the line? Kevin, you bring up a great point, but, you could talk about, I'm sure there's some badminton player somewhere that has won a ton of gold medals and is considered the greatest badminton player. But, I'm being serious. Where do we draw the line? Obviously, bowling, they drew a line. I can't get mad at that. Do you know how many sports there are out there? I am sure. Justin Craig, who used to be one of our pinhead suits here, big volleyball guy, played it in college. I'm sure there's a great volleyball player. That takes athleticism, doesn't it? So should we put a volleyball player on there? There was no rugby players. I don't know where you draw the line, man. But I think from the auto racing standpoint, Formula One, NASCAR, we're good. I don't think people, Peter, are going to complain too much. And Kevin, thank you for the phone call. You get auto racing in there. If you have a Formula One guy, a couple of NASCAR guys, I think we're good. How far you want to go? How deep do you want to go into this thing? There's only 100.
I think what you're trying to say is how many chances you get.
Well, I'm just saying that, people are going to complain about certain sports. Even I'm upset about hockey only having 3 guys, but you only have 100 to choose from. And once you start opening the Olympic sports up and you bring in soccer, there's going to be some odd men out, right? There's going to be men and women, and there's going to be sports that are going to be neglected. And I think I'm good if there's a bowler, a dart thrower, whatever you call them. I'm sure there's probably a guy out there somewhere, Peter, that is the greatest lawn dart thrower that anybody has ever seen. People would come for miles to see him play at barbecues. You got to draw it somewhere. And I think bowling's the line. And I think drag racing, anything with a parachute. Somebody was saying about, if you're going to put snowboarders on, then shouldn't you put surfers? I think it was Brzezinski brought that up. That's a great point. Surfing is snowboarding adjacent, or vice versa.
I mean, listen, and now they're having breakdancing in the Olympics. So, Where do you draw the line, Don? And I guess they drew the line. It was right on bowling.
It's right.
It was right on bowling's
It's right,
face.
like the chalk line is right over the foul line in bowling.
Speaking of which, here's Chris in Lodi. Hey, Chris.
What's up, Don Peter? Thank you so much for taking my call.
What's up?
So, yeah, I think the line was drawn at bowling because I've argued this for years. And, again, I get consistency and everything. I'm not taking away anything from professionals. But you see guys, bowling incredible games at a bowling alley. I mean, I live in Lodi. There's a Lodi Lanes. There's people that have bowled 3 straight 300 games, 900s all over the place. I mean, it's most of the stuff on this list, actually everything on this list, a normal person cannot do on a daily basis.
Right, but anything great. But honestly, but here's the thing: there are people that have gotten hole-in-ones in golf, but nobody's going to confuse them for a PGA player. The part of greatness is being able to do it consistently. So I bowled a 224 drunk. I was drunk. It was the disco ball was going. There were thumping music, free game if you get a strike with the gold pin as the head pin, and I bowled a 224. But, if I'm bowling 224s every time I go out, well, now I got to be a professional. But, every once in a while, somebody's going to be able to do that. It's doing it consistently.
Don, you want to comp, though?
What's that?
For what a sport no one can question? I mean, you can go out and play golf and randomly on a par 3 drop it 2 inches from the pin, and be a jabroni. It doesn't mean you're good.
No, but if you do it all the time, then maybe you should get your PGA card.
Exactly.
But
so a lot of sports have that.
Yeah, but the guy said if somebody goes out there and bowls a couple of perfect games, then maybe there's a hidden talent there that he should try to pursue. The time I bowled the 224, I think I bowled 7 straight strikes. Peter, my knees were knocking on the 8th frame. I was feeling the pressure because that's the thing. Like a perfect game, man. Even if you did it once, that's hard to do on a fluke. Because
now, Don,
that's
you hit the turkey. You hit the turkey. 1, 2, 3. When you got to 4. Are you now starting to really or are you still just drunk whoa, this is crazy? And did it really take till you got to 6 or 7?
No, I would say once I got through 5. Now, I don't have a hook. So I'm bowling straight, which means I'm a centimeter away from there being a split. Every strike can end up being a split. So that's why I would never consider doing it professionally. Not because I don't have a hook. If you don't have a hook, you're a clown. It's a clown show.
I mean, but you saying that's why I would never consider doing it professionally just came out very funny. I mean, that's not an option. You got to
understand something about me.
As much as you want.
Well, you got to understand something about me.
All right.
There was a stage in my life that anything I attempted to do, the goal was to do it professionally. I really believed going into high school and deep into my high school career as a pitcher, I thought I had a shot of at least attempting a career. And then as I got to my junior and senior year, and then when I got cut at Ramapo, the dream obviously died each day moving forward. But I 10, 12-year-old Don LeGreg, if I picked it up, I bowled in leagues. I loved bowling. That was a great summertime activity. GMC Lanes over in Hawthorne, we'd go bowl every summer. And my intent, if you had taken me aside at 12, you think you could do this professionally? My answer would be yes. That was my attitude.
Well, listen, I would make fun of you, Don.
Sure.
Except for the fact that when I was 21, I started playing pickup hockey and thought, you know what? If I really think this is natural to me, I might be able to make a go of this thing.
If you just applied yourself.
Then I'm I think I have it in me. I just really have to get get after it. Now, of course, I never learned how to skate backwards, which is problematic.
Right. Yeah, that eventually somebody would have picked up on that. There would be a scout there that you would have fallen in the draft, not being able to do that. But I'll tell you the turning point. I used to play in summer leagues early in my high school career. Played in the summer on Duffy Boys, travel teams. I really was committed to playing baseball.
Okay.
And there was, I forget his name, there was a kid that was on a team that we played when I was at Don Bosco Tech. And we ended up going to a tournament. Peter, he was breaking off curveballs. I was diving out of the way, and it would hit the outside corner for a strike. Throwing fastballs I couldn't see. I hit a foul ball down the first base line. I celebrated like I had hit a home run. We could not see the ball. That kid never got a sniff. So you can imagine, like, the guys that, like, Randy Johnson in high school. Like what he might have been like that was the reality check. Like, how far you are. Like, everybody thinks, okay, I think I'm good, until all of a sudden you move up a level and you realize, no, you're just so good. That's why, like, these professional athletes, man, we rip them. You do better, you choke. Like, that's what we do in talk show. But to make it at that level, Peter, do you know how good you have to be? Even the worst Major League Baseball player is still what? Like the 500th greatest player on the planet? Like, it's amazing that these guys are able to accomplish what they do.
It's so true. The two best players who played in high school with me, Donnie Wright and Rivi Rueda.
Okay.
I mean, two guys who just hit bombs, right? Like, in high school, we're hitting home runs on the reg. Donnie was the pitcher who pitched, low 80s. Rivi was a catcher who was a really solid catcher and just absolute bombs all the time. I mean, they both played like low-level college baseball, and that was it. I think Donnie might have played at a D1 school, but it didn't last long, and it was over. Like, it's insane.
I think it happens.
And these were guys I couldn't have. Listen, if Donnie as a joke pitched to me, I would never make contact.
I think it's something that really hurts us. That you really got to tip your cap to, like, a Volpe, kids that came from here, because it's so densely populated here. But you can't play year round. Right, so you get involved in other sports, but that's why these guys that are in Florida, California, Texas, they can play all year long. And so I think guys that were, like, special in high school in those places where they were able to hone their craft, like, it's so hard here. Like, what do you do in the winter? I guess there's certain places you can travel to or, try to hone your skills inside. But otherwise, like, for me, it was like, all right, baseball season's over. I'm going to go play football, play basketball, But if I was down in Florida, I probably would play in a league all year long, and that would certainly help me. It's really hard to make it here, or you only have a finite amount of time to be able to play. It's pretty great.
We're more reminiscing on high school and talking to you next. Of course, ESPN has recently launched ESPN Experiences. Take Me Out to the Ballparks tours set for Labor Day weekend. Stops include Fenway Park, Yankee Stadium, Citizens Bank Park, with an exclusive tour of ESPN headquarters. Visit experiences.espn.com to secure your spot. Really, really cool opportunity there. More of you next. Plus, we got ENN at 6. Got a Point Guard at 5:45. It's the K Show on ESPN New York and Yes.
Mom? Yeah.
I think we're out of toilet paper.
Oh, no. Mom, we need more chips, Mom. More chips, please.
More chips would be huge.
Chicken, a lot of chicken. Chicken on that plate. Chicken coming up.
Okay, hon, I'm gonna need a lot of chicken.
What's with the accent?
Just trying something new.
When you feel like everyone needs a little bit of everything,
I'll handle it.
Shop BJ's Wholesale Club on Instacart. Same-day delivery in as fast as 1 hour. So whatever the needs may be, you got it covered. Visit instacart.com or download the app to get free delivery on your first order.
50. Right now, you can go online and buy a hand-drawn portrait for $50 titled Andy Pettit, The Stare. 1. Growing up, you used to play a game called Corkball using 1 penny and a bat.
First of all, how do you know all this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The YouTube video of you snagging a fan's popcorn has 1,169,839 views.
Took him a ball the next inning. I said, thanks for the popcorn, signed it.
Get into an Audi and go your own way. Find your way to exceptional offers during the Summer of Audi sales event at your local Audi dealer.
When you see all the people who work at Shriners Hospitals for Children, you might see everyday people just doing their job. But to me and other kids, they aren't just receptionists, therapists, or doctors. They're superheroes. But these superheroes are only able to help all of us kids because of the support of people just like you who empower their abilities so we get the care we need to live our lives like super kids.
Because of people like you, I can play the violin.
I can play piano. And I can walk. Please go to loveshriners.org right away. Help us be superheroes too.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
Hurry in to the Acura Summer of Performance event going on now.
Everywhere but the seat. The seat is leather.
Alan, we get it. You love your bike. We do too. That's why we're America's #1 motorcycle insurer. But do you have to wedge it into everything?
What? Don't do that. This reminds me of my bike. The Wolf was about the size of my new motorcycle. Have you seen it, by the way? Happy birthday, Grandma!
Really?
Look how the brushstrokes follow the line of the gas tank. Hey! Brought my +1. Jamie.
Weighted blankets are so cozy, especially when they're filled with creamy, comfy peanut butter M&M's Mega. I can't move. Yellow, how about a little help?
Who said that? All I see is darkness.
Peanut butter M&M's Mega.
Big season. More reasons to say yes.
Wow! Aaron Judge crushes one.
Get all the Yankees action on the Yes app. Download now.
We're ready. Away we go. And a look at MI New York. That is a big hit. Catches the call and catch. It's 100. Bang. There's another.
Popeyes has the best of both wings. Our juicy chicken is marinated to perfection with 2 distinct twists on all 6 flavors. Whether you prefer our spicy bone-in wings or our classic tender white meat boneless wings, we've got the best of both.
That chicken from Popeyes.
Self-inflicted gunshot, 14-year-old male.
I have sickle cell. I've had lots and lots of blood transfusions over my lifetime. I'm most grateful that people are willing to go out there and take their time, their blood, and give me new life.
This is a keepsake frame. This is actually a photo from my wedding. I'm Adam Weiss, founder and CEO of Keepsake, the mobile app that makes it easy to have your photos printed, framed, and shipped to your doorstep. You just choose a photo that you love, you can preview it in over 100 frames, and in a couple of days, you're gonna receive your photo in a beautiful, handmade frame. So if you've got a special photo on your phone, install the free Keepsake app. We would love a chance to frame it for you.
Of the rankings of the top NBA teams from ESPN, the Knicks 4th. Celtics were 1, and then you had the Thunder and the Wolves. I guess we're not supposed to say T-Wolves; you have to say Timberwolves. And then the Knicks, and then Knicks at 4. And listen, the thing that jumps out to me, I think the Knicks are the second best team in the conference, so I'm not shocked that they are the second team in the East on the list, but ahead of Denver. That's interesting, because
it is no doubt about it. Being 4 in the NBA is even if it's just a few people's thoughts, that's still crazy.
Yeah, but that's still to have the Knicks ranked 4th, and whether you believe it or not, fine. All right, so they're 5th or 6th, but to have them as high as they are, and I still believe they're the second best team in the conference. Now, listen, could the Bucks finish higher than them if Embiid stays healthy? And Philly, they certainly have made some acquisitions where they can maybe stake claim to it. I'm not going to make any guarantees, but I think what they were able to get Bridges, I think they're going to get better. I think they'll survive Hartenstein not being there, although it does hurt a little bit. That they can be the second best team. The unfortunate thing is the best team in the NBA and the defending champions are in their way, kind of like what the Rangers are going through, except the Knicks and Celtics are in the same division. That's the difference. But Peter, fourth. And no offense to the Thunder or the Timberwolves, but they got to show me something in the postseason, too. The West always seems to be, produce this great team that ends up not really ever doing anything at the end of the day. We'll see if that ends up being the case. But you could definitely make a case that the Knicks maybe deserve to be higher than Minnesota or Oklahoma City. But that's still pretty interesting. 4 and second best in the East. Pretty cool.
Yeah, if you're a Knicks fan, you have to be so excited about what next year could be. And you really don't know what the ceiling even is for this team yet until you get a look at what it's like when Mikal Bridges playing with this group, until you see what it's like having a healthy and available Julius Randle. There's just so much that makes this exciting, Don.
It is going to be, we still have football and everything, but when we get to the fall, and we get into the Knicks and Rangers again, because of what happened last year, I think there's going to be a kind of interesting combination of excitement and trepidation around both teams. Rangers, because we've seen this act before from them. Go to the conference final in 22, get bounced in the first round the next year. So I don't think anybody is booking a championship, but they got to feel good about the team. But they're going to be a little worried that there could be a step back, especially with the Devils and the improvements they made during the offseason. And with the Knicks, there's going to be that kind of curiosity. Are they ready to take the next step? I think there's a lot more optimism around the Knicks because that's just kind of how Knicks fans are. I think they go in optimistic. So there might be a little bit more optimism around them, but I do think there's going to be a little bit, okay, show me, because I'm sorry, Peter, a great regular season getting bounced in the second round is not going to do. All right, that's not going to fly for this Knicks fan base, all right? They lived with it last year because of the injuries, but the expectations are going to be very high. And competing with the Celtics during the regular season, being a high seed, top 4 seed or above, and making it to the conference final is I think, the minimum that this fan base should accept. Especially with the expectations outside of New York, which are always negative, right? That's the thing that shook me about them being ranked in the top 4. Most people outside of New York don't respect the Knicks. But things are so good, how can you ignore them now?
No, you can't. And listen, expectations can change, of course. You run into injury problems, whatever it may be. But there's no question, at this point, that they're expected to be the second best team in the NBA. So next year we should, in theory, get the incredible Eastern Conference Finals that we all kind of thought we were going to get this year before we kind of took the injuries for granted, maybe took Indiana for granted a bit as well.
What would your heart tell you if this Knick team, as presently constituted, played last year's Celtic team in the conference final? What would you say? What would the result be?
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I think the Celtics are still better. And I think the Celtics still win in 6. And, I think once you get to 6, obviously you have to say, right, that 7's on the table, right, Don? Right,
because 6, because the way things will probably go, 6 would be in your building.
So, yeah, to me, you're either saying a sweep or 5, which means it's going to be easy, or you're saying 6 or 7, which means it's going to be hard. I think it would be 6 or 7, but I think the Celtics win.
Because the Celtics there's no real changes, right? Other than being the defending champions, which used to be almost like a ticket to next year's final. But now the landscape is different. Denver did not repeat. Milwaukee did not repeat. We're starting to see now where it was almost a fait accompli that you were going to probably go on a nice 5-6 year run, the way the Warriors did, the way the Heat did. That was the way things were going to go. The Spurs. But now it feels like you could very easily be one and done because there's a lot more competition out there.
And, of course, the Celtics will start the season without Kristaps Porzingis. So there are some things. Let's go back to the people here. Let's go to Matthew in Brooklyn. Hey, Matthew.
Yeah, guys, I just need something clarified.
Sure.
Are we talking about best athletes or the best accomplishments?
I think it's accomplishments, right? Because you wouldn't have, let's be honest, I don't think you would have a NASCAR driver in the top 50 if you were going by pure athletics. So that's got to be accomplishments, right?
I have to cut you off because one of the best athlete ever is Bo Jackson, and he has no accomplishment.
Right. Well, he wouldn't fit in this because it's 21st century. I think.
No. How about this? Let me give this example for you, bud. How about this? If we were going on best athletes of the 21st century, not accomplishments, Tyreek Hill is on that list. And he's not.
That's what I'm trying to clarify. So it's all about accomplishments.
Yeah. I would say it's not all about accomplishments, but I think that's a significant piece.
Yeah, because let's face it, honestly, Matthew, the guy Tom Brady is not an amazing athlete. Like he didn't run particularly well. Had a strong arm, but not the strongest arm. But he was a great quarterback who was really smart and just knew how to play the game of football perfectly. He's not Usain Bolt, right? So I think athleticism's part of it, but mostly it's about accomplishments. If this list were done all the time, Bo Jackson would be there. Deion Sanders would be there. Brian Jordan would be there.
Lawrence Taylor. Those guys were great athletes, freaks of nature.
Yeah, Jerry Rice.
That's why I'm asking, because the guy who called about LaDainian Tomlinson, if it was strictly athlete, then LT would have to be on the list. That's why I needed to clarify.
Right.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, and of course, this is 21st century, so there'd be no Lawrence Taylor, there'd be no Bo Jackson, there'd be no Deion Sanders. But we get the point. I think they run into the problem that I run into when I do my top five, my daily don. Well, can you define it a little better? Like our athlete suggests like pure athleticism, but when you look at the list, that's not the major criteria. Because again, no offense to golfers or race car drivers, they would not be looked upon as an athlete that an Olympian would be, that a hockey player or a basketball player would be. The athleticism to do those things are clearly a lot higher, but the accomplishments had to be the thing.
Let's keep it going and head to Jared in Jackson. Hey, Jared.
Hey, what's up, guys? I was just I meant to call about this for a while, but I was wondering if Peter's some kind of oracle or something, because when I first heard the news of Derrick Henry on the Ravens, the first thing I thought was Derrick Henry on the Purple Birds?
Derrick Henry and the Purple Birds, the Ravens.
So you're saying that this might be some sort of clairvoyancy through stroke, we think something's wrong with him, but what he's actually doing is brilliance.
Yes, and that's why I think he might not even know it. So what other kind of take that we think might have been crazy might happen in the future?
What have you said crazy that now we have to look at differently and say that maybe this was some sort of a prognostication? Anthony, what has Peter said that?
Well, I called Bridges completely.
Yeah, but
remember Michael kind of ruled it out immediately.
He did.
They're not coming here.
That's just regular clairvoyance. I mean, a mistake that we thought was a drop, a mistake, but it might have been a message from future Peter, channeling you in the present to tell us what was going to happen. Like, we thought something was wrong with Peter. He's like,
taking off the penalty's helmet was already a penalty, so that's not.
Yeah, so that wasn't one of them. But that was a drop about the Dirty Birds and mixing up the Titans and the Ravens. Now he's a Raven, so we were making fun of you, but maybe that was Raven. Future Peter speaking through present Peter that the people looked at as a drop, but you were actually giving us a message. So was there a mistake, Anthony, recently that we can now look at differently and say, was it a message from the future?
We have to be careful is what you're saying. We have to keep an eye on this.
Well, we got to keep an eye.
He's a Charger now.
See, that might have been, there's an example. If he ended up playing for all those teams, that would have been me. But I don't think I have the gift. I think we're looking and analyzing whether Peter has the gift.
I mean, listen, this was a big one. Derrick Henry being on the Purple Birds. But a drop, it's the meaning completely changes. And think about how much play that's going to get next year.
Like if they ever reformulated and Brazil all of a sudden became a European country, that drop would have been that moment. I don't see that happening.
So many things would have to happen for that to
Right. I mean, there would have to be some sort of like a shift in the continents and all that, but who knows? Wacky things happen, right? Marquette's in the Big East.
Sure.
Like isn't the pack like? Look at all of the ways they're moving things around in college football and basketball right now, right? So it's not crazy to think that all of a sudden, for some wacky reason, Brazil would be competing in the Euros. And if that,
who would you say is the best Brazilian available I could find in the Euros?
Brazil is a South American country, so they're not playing in the Euros.
Right. So let's make fun of Peter. He's stupid. But maybe someday there might be some realignment, some kind of financial reason why we had to put Brazil in the Euros, and now we'll look back and say, you know what, maybe Peter was being clairvoyant.
You know what? Things like this and so much more. Don trying to get his 4th straight point guard.
It's unprecedented.
Which would be unprecedented. We've never seen it. We'll find out next, right here on the K Show. But first, Don, let's talk car.
The finest premium arena club in the world comes alive in Brooklyn. Welcome to Crown Club, the Brooklyn Nets' most exclusive club in Barclays Center. Featuring a menu curated by Major Food Group with Carbone Classics and a world-class wine list. To learn more about premium memberships at Barclays Center, visit brooklynnets.com/crown-club.
That's Aaron Judge. Yeah.
Sometimes you get the feeling you're watching a Hall of Famer right in the middle of his prime.
The captain is rolling.
They're going to need a longer tape measure.
A monster blast. See ya. Wow.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. Our incredible same-game parlay gets even better when you add Profit Boost. You can still combine all of your favorite selections to increase your potential winnings, but now we're giving you the option to boost your profit up to an extra 30%. Look out for a Profit Boost on select games and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
For years, one company has battled to deliver business products the next day with no freight charges. Now, WB Mason, with their famous fleet of trucks and drivers, faces their biggest challenge, rescuing shipping and packaging buyers from expensive freight charges. That's right. Now, boxes, stretch film, and packaging tape are delivered the very next day at amazingly low prices. So, who do you call for fast delivery and no expensive freight charges? Who but WB Mason?
1 in 6 black men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in his lifetime.
But when it's caught early, it's highly treatable.
For more than 30 years, PCF has funded cutting-edge research. Go to pcf.org/knowyourrisk to learn more about prostate cancer.
It's your life.
Self-inflicted gunshot, 14-year-old male.
Just tell me if you breathe.
We're ready. Away we go. And a look at MI New York. Bang! There's another.
Soto keeps doing it. A monster blast by Aaron Judge.
If you're an asbestos victim, pay close attention. Billions of dollars are being paid out to people like you. We should know. We're Whites in Luxembourg, the law firm that already won over $9 billion for men and women just like you. That's right, over $9 billion for mesothelioma sufferers and their families. We know you're short of money, and we know you're short of time, so we fight hard. Call Whites in Luxembourg at 917-LAWYERS. That's 917-LAWYERS. Whites in Luxembourg, winning big for the little guy.
Stay straight for the next 200 miles.
Get into an Audi and go your own way. Find your way to exceptional offers during the Summer of Audi sales event at your local Audi dealer.
Michelin innovates once more with Michelin acoustic technology, reducing cabin noise by cushioning road vibrations. Michelin, motion for life.
At Domino's, we've heard in focus groups that some people don't love our classic crust.
Too doughy.
It's not thin enough.
So here's another pizza.
All the ingredients come together.
And so what if I told you this was Domino's?
Good for Domino's, for real. Introducing Domino's New York style pizza. Try it tonight.
What if you went to your secret hiding place and found this? All drug use comes with risk. Before those risks become real, know that you can quit. For help with drug use, call 1-800-662-HELP for free and confidential information and treatment referral, or go to samhsa.gov/know-the-risks.
Tomorrow night on Yes, the second half of the season begins for the Yankees when they begin a 4-game set with the Tampa Bay Rays in the Bronx. The Yankees come into the series with the AL East rival 16-19 against the division. Our coverage commences with Yankees batting practice today, followed by the pregame show, and first pitch is scheduled for a little after 7. It's the Yankees and the Rays. Coverage starting tomorrow night at 6 right here on Yes, and streaming, of course, on the Yes app immediately after the Michael K. Show.
It can't, like, and listen, it would have been historic for Don to win, but how can you complain? It was no, it's a great job by Richard. Tough week for me. But hey, reset your preset, guys, with ESPN New York. Show us you're listening by uploading a photo of a device, playing the ESPN New York app for a chance to win a once-in-a-lifetime experience with your favorite radio host. Head to the contest tile on the ESPN New York app to enter. This week's giveaway is a visit, all right, to the ESPN studio to visit Bart and Hahn on Wednesday, the 28th of August. You'll even have a chance to join them on air. Keep it locked all summer long for more great experiences. And, Don, this portion of the K-Show is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz White Plains, proud member of the Pepe Auto Group, the name you've trusted since 1968. Let's take a couple of phone calls, shall we, Don?
Yes, please.
Before a big Pusick ENN, I'm sure we'll have I'd maybe expect a Tiger Watch. I don't know if he has this in there, so I'm sorry to mention it at 51, but you do whatever you want. I saw that Conor McGregor had a lot to say today. Sort of interesting.
Did not have it in there, no?
No, I'm sorry.
What did he say then?
He talked some trash, and he also had his introductory press conference with this bare knuckle league that he's a part of. Okay. So that's sort of interesting. I also saw some stuff about Bronny James. There's a lot happening in the world, but don't worry.
He had a nice night last night, right?
Well, that's the thing, and now all of a sudden everyone's betting him to be Rookie of the Year.
There you go.
You know how things work.
Narrative changes.
All right, let's try to go quickly. Rob's been waiting for a while with a thought on the top 100. What do you got? Hey, Rob.
Rob, hey.
Hey, gentlemen, how are you today?
Good.
Good. Hey, Don, just wanted to reach out. First of two things, real quick. if you remember, I was the guy who called in just after Halloween last year, where I told you I made the kid dump his candy back into my bowl because he tried to steal it all.
Okay, I remember that.
We respected you. Yeah, sure.
Well, okay. Anyway,
I remember.
My question, I missed part of yesterday's 100. Did you guys happen to mention anything about it, James Harrison from the Steelers?
No.
We did not. No.
Oh, man. I was just wondering, because, I mean, being a walk-on with Pittsburgh, I mean, he's a freak of nature, so I'm actually kind of surprised he wasn't on that list.
Well, listen, I'll say this about James Harrison. He's an unbelievable athlete in terms of, like, physically what he looks like, and he was a hell of a player, but I don't think his actual athleticism, Don, or accomplishments, and thank you, Rob, would put him anywhere near that list.
No.
Just me personally.
No, and again, it was all through the 2000s, but he played for a bunch of... No, come on. When we talk about great defenders, we're talking about Aaron Donald. We're talking about J.J. Watt. You know, these are the creme de la creme. Now, he was a great story and a truly great player, but to have him in the top 100 athletes of all time, you want to put him in the top 100 football players of the 20th century. Now you're having a conversation.
We're having a conversation. Yeah.
But when you take a look at that list, like the classic, who you taking out? You'd have a tough time taking people out.
No, for football, you wouldn't, because you just wouldn't do it. Sean wants to weigh in on something very important. What do you got, Sean?
Hey, just thank you so much for being part of my ride home every day. You guys are definitely like family. Yeah, you'd mentioned the pin the tail on the donkey, which, by the way, Don would only play when he was a kid if he thought he could go pro.
That's right.
Right? You stopped playing when you knew you couldn't go pro. But you talked about the adult version of it. So I just got to tell you, my mom was wacky when we were kids, and she was a teacher. And she had this version we would play where she'd come home with this big banner paper, and she drew every kid's house that was at our birthday party and, like, the dogs in the yard. And she would give us all a paper bomb. She called it Bomb the Burrow. And she'd spin us around and we'd, bomb kids' houses. And, Keith Schubert cried because we bombed his dog, we're kids. Cut to 30 years later, we go to my brother's house. We walk in the door. He's got this big banner paper up on the wall full of different drawings he did of different bottles. And he gave everybody a plastic cup with masking tape on it. Spun us around. We stuck the cup to the thing, and we had to drink whatever was.
I got to tell you, you guys know how to party,
He called it
Sean,
the cocktail.
That's,
yeah. So.
No, that's cool. I mean, your mom taking a risk like bombing houses, putting that in your kid's brain. But listen, it was creative. It was not settling for just the whole donkey thing. Let's have some fun. But bomb the neighborhood. I think that's how the Unabomber got started.
My friend Francis, who always has funny lines to the show, when we were talking about me being clairvoyant by mistake, said maybe one day a penalty will be a helmet. So
right, you don't know. We don't. There's no expiration date on these things.
No, all we can do is hope. Let's see, real quick, Tony in Nashville. What other sports didn't make the list?
Hey, what's up, guys? I don't know if I have. First of all, I'm a huge fan of both of you guys, Don and Peter.
Thank you.
I can't think of one off the top of my head, but just you guys getting all these interesting calls, it just made me think. Like to Don's point, where do you draw the line with some of these obscure sports? Do you guys think? I mean, I'm kind of saying this jokingly, but do you think like some of these more obscure sports probably deserve like an ESPN 8 The Ocho separate list of their own?
What? That's actually not bad.
No, that would be bad at all. Because you start thinking about them. Volleyball, surfing, bowling, darts, billiards. And a lot of these things have all been on ESPN at some time or another. It would be a hard... To come up with 100, Peter, you'd really need some experts. But that could... I don't know if I'd know any of the people on the list. Like, who's considered the greatest... billiards players? A Pretty Boy Floyd?
I don't know. I don't know. You got Chestnut for sure. Give me some Chestnut.
Well, no, that would fall into that category, right?
Yeah, give me some the bowling guy, Belmonte.
Mm-hmm.
Don, the number one
curling?
jacks. Curling could get in there. Don, the sport that you described that you said you would be really good at, but you don't think belongs on the list.
Right. Yesterday,
the one that Yeah, you said don't you have some drops over there?
Do we?
Yeah, I think we had drops from yesterday of Don suggesting a sport that he would be good at, but it's not really considered a sport. But we know you would dominate in that, so maybe there is room for you on the list.
Yourself, buddy. Don't sell yourself short.
You know, I got news for you. One day in high school, I stayed home from school, and at the time, I set a record.
You know what? I could think of a competition in which I use my body, and I'd be king.
They're just being confident.
I put numbers on the board that hadn't been seen previously, I'll tell you that.
Because, you know what, it's sad, but, you know, they say if you put in the 10,000 hours, eventually you become great at it. You know.
Well, in this sport, you only need to put in 10,000 seconds, and I mean, sometimes it just takes 10 seconds, and you're in business. So, all right, guys, up next, you know what they say. There's no ENN like a Pusick ENN the day before Michael Kay comes back at the end of the All-Star break.
It changes the show dramatically.
Yeah, and takes the show into just what we like to call a baseball-gasm. So there's no ENN like that. So whether you're watching us on the Yes Network or you're listening on your Rayro or the ESPN New York app, we got it all for you right here. Coming up next on 98.7 ESPN New York and Yes.
Whoever said patience is a virtue never sat in these K5 GT sports seats. The powerful new Kia K5 GT is here. Lease a new 2025 K5 LXS for $279 a month.
Hi, I'm Greg. I live in Bloomington, Illinois. I'm not an actor. I'm just a regular person. Some people say, why should I take Prevagen? I don't have a problem with my memory. Memory loss is not something that occurs overnight. I started noticing subtle lapses in memory. I want people to know that Prevagen has worked for me. It's helped my memory. It's helped my cognitive qualities. Give it a try. I want it to help you just like it has helped me.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription.
What's your name? Brian. I'm seeking a life-saving kidney. I want to live for my friends. Like Jeffrey, he's funny. I want to live for my mom.
You have to be what?
Be brave.
You have to be brave.
My name is Ryan, and I want to live.
Thank God it's Friday. Am I right?
Trying to figure out how casual Fridays are is hard.
Yeah, thank God.
Hiring Morgan & Morgan for your injury is easy.
Rhonda.
Oh, hell no.
Morgan & Morgan. The choice is easy.
Stay straight for the next 200 miles.
Get into an Audi and go your own way. Find your way to exceptional offers during the Summer of Audi sales event at your local Audi dealer.
The finest premium arena club in the world comes alive in Brooklyn. Welcome to Crown Club, the Brooklyn Nets' most exclusive club in Barclays Center. Featuring a menu curated by Major Food Group with Carbone Classics and a world-class wine list. To learn more about premium memberships at Barclays Center, visit brooklynnets.com/crown-club.
Hi, I'm Vanessa Williams, and I want to share with you the role that diabetes has had in my family. I lost my grandmother at the early age of 64 due to complications with diabetes. She was warm, generous, and a constant encouragement for me to follow my heart. Did you know that African Americans experience chronic kidney disease at a rate that's 25% higher than white Americans? And we're almost 4 times more likely to develop kidney failure. Diabetes and high blood pressure are leading causes of kidney disease, which can result in kidney failure, needing dialysis or a kidney transplant. The good news is that you have the power to check out how well your kidneys are doing and learn ways to prevent them from failing. So go to your doctor and get yourself checked out. Visit linkmylovetv.org to learn more. Get the facts, get checked, and get healthy.
It's going to be an exciting series here against the Rays.
Your attention, please. You're watching Yes.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Welcome to ENN. It's brought to you by Security Dodge. Go see Michelle Scalisi and...
Come get some!
Yeah, Michael back tomorrow. Peter back on ENN. All will be right with the world.
I want to thank Michael. He did an interview for Barrett Sports Media and had some very nice things to say about me. I thought that was very nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did he mention me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course.
In a nice way?
Yeah. It wasn't a hit piece.
You never know. You never, ever know.
Off to a good start. I'd like to say good evening to Don.
Sean Hannity had a show down the hall and had like a 15-minute open. And everybody was like, oh.
It was fun to go back down memory lane to see Joey's 2002 open for the show on SoundCloud. That was fun.
It is funny watching the RNC, which I have been watching. And it was like the halls of ESPN Radio 20 years ago. Like all those people. Because we were right next to ABC, so we saw all those people. You know, Mark Levin and Sean Hannity. So it was crazy. It's like a reunion of sorts.
What a time.
Like a time warp almost.
I don't know, it just hit differently back then.
Sure.
But they were nice to us. Sean Hannity was a fan. Might still be.
Really?
I don't know. I haven't seen him in a while.
He's been busy. Hi, Don.
Head, heart.
And more from Don.
Either bet all with your heart or all with your head. That's all. It's Sage. Let's make fun of Peter. He's stupid.
Another one from that beautiful moment.
You're saying that this might be some sort of clairvoyancy through stroke.
That's right.
Peter.
NFL schedule release is like a national holiday. Baseball, it's like flatulence into the wind. I thought I said that beautifully.
You did. You got your point across, I'll tell you that.
Thank you. You understood what I meant.
Absolutely.
Look, middle of a Thursday in the summer. I don't know what we're doing. Peter?
I enjoy it, and I lather it up, and I rub it all over my face.
Good for you.
I just don't want that. It creates a picture in my mind.
Isolated, it's problematic, but I'm willing to push through.
So is this.
You got chestnut for sure. Give me some chestnut.
Guys, I think this is as good a time as ever to do the Pinstripe Report, brought to you by Samuel Institute for Pain Management. The Yankees play baseball, and 2 teams in baseball have released new ballpark food items today.
Oh, okay. You know what? Finally, we're talking about something that matters.
So I wonder what you guys think about this. They're on MLB's X account, but I'll describe the first one to you. The Royals are releasing the Taste of the K Taco. And it's ironic that it's called the K Taco because Michael would eat probably none of these items, especially not together, other than the first thing. So here's what it is, guys, and pull it up if you can because the visual is just tremendous. It's a hot dog wrapped in a cheeseburger quesadilla.
Wait, what?
With barbecue brisket, French fries, lettuce, onions, sriracha Cracker Jacks, and 816 sauce. What? Separate sounds amazing. My question is, Don, Peter, would you try this monstrosity?
No, it's too much. And how much does this go for? Like $45?
I don't know.
In
how
the
much
Hamptons,
it
it'll be $450.
You know how it's funny? Advertisements are supposed to make food look good, And there's sometimes I look up and we see a Papa John's ad, and I'm like, this doesn't even look appetizing.
Whoa.
This is one of those things that I just don't think look appetizing.
First of all, taco's wonderful. You really don't have to mess with it.
It is wonderful. I don't need a taco wrap that is essentially a cheeseburger quesadilla.
No.
With my French fries and my hot dog.
No. Don.
Have you seen it, Peter?
No, I haven't, and I won't.
You won't. You refuse.
I refuse.
I like it.
And Don, I'm going to tell you right now, based on the description, they should just rename it right now. The Trying Too Hard, bro.
Trying Too
Like,
Hard,
you
bro.
just, we're good, man. Like, it's always a thing to me. I don't understand. Like, I'm a fat blob.
I'm sending it to you anyway.
I love to eat. All right. Yet I don't feel the need for a meal to be taking like all these fattening meats that I enjoy, just shoving them together.
When the Mets were playing the Pirates, I was listening to the game on the radio, and how he was describing a hot dog they sell in Pittsburgh. One of the things it was topped with, Peter, you ready for this?
Oh, wait, with the pierogies?
Pierogies and pot roast. It's like, no, that's trying too hard. And the other thing, too,
pierogies are delicious.
All those things separately are delicious.
Yes.
But let's take the next 3 dinners and just have it in one. And the other thing, too, I don't know. I find it very difficult to eat anything at a ballpark. You're eating off your lap. You know, your knees are banging into the seat in front of you. You're rubbing elbows with the person next to you. And now you've got like this monstrosity in front of you, and you've got like 3 napkins. I mean, this is not ideal.
This is so dumb. I'm looking at the picture right now. You got the cheeseburger quesadilla alone, I could argue is stupid, but it's kind of just taking a cheeseburger and giving it a different bun,
It's
right?
essentially a ground beef quesadilla, if you want to break it down.
Or it's a ground beef quesadilla.
Right.
It's either way, but it's fine. That's totally normal. But now you cover it in French fries, and you add a hot dog, and sriracha Cracker Jacks. The whole thing is moronic. This is what's wrong with our nation.
Kofi coming through again, by the way. $25 this is.
Well, $25 and proof that you're a functional or non-functional moron.
Now, here's something that I think we could all agree on here. I'm about to send you another one. This is from the Colorado Rockies.
All right, talk to me, Rockies.
It's called Polar Pasta. It looks like spaghetti and meatballs.
All right.
But it's actually vanilla ice cream with little donut holes, strawberry syrup, and mint. That sounds delicious.
Yeah, see, then it's got a nice bowl. It's organized.
No, I do. Hold on.
Yes.
So you're saying that it looks like pasta.
Correct.
But it's not.
No.
It's ice cream.
Correct.
So they just made the ice cream look cute, but it's really ice cream.
It's really ice cream.
With donut holes on top.
Correct.
Here's just the part that's an abomination.
Okay. I like this.
The mint is an abomination.
Yeah, I think you could probably do without the mint.
Why do I want little pieces of grass on my ice cream? Take this and shove it up your ace. Get rid of it. That makes Don. It's a little thing they're doing for no reason. I get it. You want it to look like spaghetti and meatballs. Boom. What kind of sauce you said that is?
I believe strawberry.
Cool. So the strawberry is delicious, sugary sauce that replicates the tomato sauce, and the donut holes represent the meatballs, and the ice cream represents the paschettis. I don't need you to get cute with the mint, guys. Just leave it alone.
You don't always need.
But mint is a flavored ice cream, so it might actually help.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm not mad at you.
I'm not. Listen, I'm not getting any of it. Let's just be real. I'm getting, when I go to the ballpark, I'm getting dogs.
Yeah.
The riskiest I'd get is like I'd get a steak and cheese. I'd get a chicken sandwich. I'd get, I just don't know why people want to complicate things.
It is hard, and Don kind of nailed it too. Just to eat any of these things, the ice cream, I guess you could eat because it has the bowl at your seat. But a lot of these things, like, did you see the 3-foot dog they had at the Texas Ranger game? How are you going to walk that down to your... Who's eating that?
I guess you try to get a bunch of people in on it, but it's just still stupid.
Yeah, because it has to span across their bodies in order for you to eat it.
I don't know.
I agree.
I mean, how boring is your game that you got to do this to entertain people?
Well, I just thought that was kind of interesting. And the only way to close out the Pinstripe Report is to wish a happy birthday to friend of the show and Hall of Famer Joe Torre.
There you go.
It's his birthday today. That's the Pinstripe Report, brought to you by Samuel Institute for Pain Management. For a pain-free life, visit samuelpain.com.
83? I don't know.
Actually, you know what? They didn't put it up on X. Let me take a look there.
No, I don't think he's out. 78?
For who?
For Joe Torre.
Joe Torre, if you had to guess.
Oh, age?
Yeah.
Don said 83.
I'm gonna go 81.
84.
Oh, wow.
Good job, though.
84.
I just thought I was insulting him at 83. I was complimenting him.
You were complimenting him because you're a good guy like that.
Tiger Watch.
So, Tiger, how did you play today?
Not good.
Well, got off to kind of a slow start.
No kidding.
Do you feel like you're back to win at this level?
Yeah, I do, because I just did it.
You just love Tiger. Sniff him dead.
Yeah, not a good day for El Tigre. +8 at the Open Championship. He is now, I believe, 14 strokes behind the leader. Shane Lowry has dropped down to second at -5. Daniel Brown had a 6-under day. And I don't think it's up yet in terms of a projected cut line. But as you pointed out, Peter, it's probably going to be somewhere in the +1 or +2 range, and that's going to be very hard for Tiger to overcome.
He's going to have to shoot, 6 under tomorrow. I mean, I guess it's Tiger Woods. I guess
It'd be something.
as Peter said, he can walk on water still. There's still the possibility, even though he's never done it, he might be able to walk on water.
Didn't say that's not true.
Here's Tiger's
We're getting fat check now.
assessment of the Open Championship.
I didn't do a whole lot of things right today. Made that putt on the third hole, and then I think I had three putts today. I didn't hit my irons very close, and didn't give myself a whole lot of looks today. So need to shoot something in the mid-60s tomorrow to get something on going on the weekend.
Now this was something interesting. Somebody actually asked Tiger. There's a guy in New York named Don LeGreg, and I think it's your shot, you're done. What do you say to a person like that? And do you feel better this year than you did last year?
Yeah, I'm physically feeling a lot better than I did at the beginning of the year. After the end of last year, it was tough, and then I haven't played a whole lot. And I think that as the year has gone on, I have gotten better. I just wish I could have played a little bit more, but I've just been saving it for the majors just in case I do something pre-major and then take myself out of it. So hopefully next year I'll be a little bit better than this year.
Anthony painted
Thanks, Tiger.
a very negative picture of what I said.
I'm sorry.
All I'm saying is I don't think he's going to win another major again. All right? And I think I'm in the majority of people that aren't, sniffing the glue.
It's not. I wouldn't see it. There it is again. We're not sniffing glue.
You are.
Okay.
No, you're grasping at something that's not there. No, in true analysis, I could end up being wrong. All analysis can be flawed. But I'm just telling you, everything is pointing to. The facts are piling up higher than Everest that it's not going to happen. You think it's going to happen because you just want to believe that, and I don't want to take that away from you. You're a fan. I get it.
I think he's capable of competing again.
Well, now it's so interesting. Now you're moving the line.
No, I didn't move the line. When in the last few times we've argued have I said, I guarantee you he wins another major?
No, but you still think there's a shot. Nobody's guaranteeing
That's what competing
anything. I'm
is.
not guaranteeing. I'm just having to say I don't believe he's going to win another major. You still think he can? Now,
yeah, I think he can compete.
All right,
would that be winning a major?
You're saying two different things now. Competing doesn't mean you're going to win. Competing now for him would be just playing on Sunday, and you're watching because he might be in striking distance. That's competing, but that's not winning.
Well, but you're saying he's falling off a cliff and he's never going to be good again.
But
I'm saying you're wrong.
Why did I? That's not what I said. He is not going to win another major.
Oh, see, I think you changed the goalpost.
No, I haven't. I keep saying to you, it's not going to happen. Like, you still believe it's going to happen. I'm saying it's not going to happen.
If that's all you feel, then we're miscommunicating.
No, that's all I've ever said. I never said he's cooked, done. I'm just saying Anthony, he's not winning another major.
Yes, Peter.
Do you think, Anthony, you've been listening to this argument now for weeks on end.
Oh, absolutely.
Did you feel that all Don was saying was he's not going to win another major?
Well, I think that in the end, that's kind of all that matters. Like, I don't really, personally, I don't care if he wins the Valspar Open or any of these other.
No.
I want Tiger to see Tiger win a major.
He doesn't care about those things. He's not usually participating in those things.
And I think, that's kind of what was interesting about that second cut, Don. And whether Tiger wanted to admit it or not, it kind of seems like this year was about a little bit of a building year. Can I get through the 4 majors, whether I make the cut or not, or otherwise? But he feels good at the end of this year. So maybe, and he said he'd like to play more, and he thinks maybe next year, because he felt good this year, he could play more. And maybe if he plays more, he'll get into a better rhythm by the time he gets to majors. I don't know.
Listen, you can go back. I mean, I'm sure somebody has a quote from I just know how I feel when I say things. that I'm talking about the majors. That's what you care about, right? Is he going to be able to beat Jack's record? That's what he seems to care about. And I'm just saying, I think that's off the table now. Does that mean you can't have fun watching him, that he's completely cooked and is never going to make the cut again? Of course not. But if you look at where it's trending, is that right now, and the betting odds are, he's not going to make the cut at a major. So I think the evidence has shown he is not going to win again. Can there be just at some moment soon that he does make the cut? And there's a Sunday where he's in the top 20. Not going to win, but certainly not embarrassing. So, of course, that can happen. I'm not saying that can't happen, but that's not winning it. And that's why I think at some point when he's answering these questions, because he can't get away from it. Not many guys, Peter, at +8 are getting interviewed on a Thursday afternoon. But he is, because he's Tiger Woods. So he keeps saying this reason, that reason. He always has, I'm not going to say an excuse, but he has a reason why he didn't play well. When does the reason become, I just can't do it anymore? I am not the golfer that can go out there and win a major. And does that ever come to him?
Peter, some pressing news from your Commanders that I didn't see.
Okay.
Jason Wright, first black team president in NFL history, will no longer serve in that role and will leave the Commanders after the season, a team spokesperson confirmed. He'll serve as a senior advisor until his departure. Wright will continue to focus on securing naming rights for the stadium as well as helping in finding a new stadium site. But there will be an immediate search for a new president led by majority owner Josh Harris and Tad Brown. Of course, this was a hire that was Dan Snyder's, kind of at the recommendation of the league. So maybe Harris and Brown just want to bring in their own guy. But a change at the top for the Commanders.
Well, it's my dude.
It's your guy.
My guy, yeah. I dined with him at his home last year.
Did you really?
I did.
He didn't drop this? He didn't run this by you?
Well, this is a while ago. No,
Were there cookies?
Did he have cookies?
Wow.
I don't remember if there were cookies, but it was a delightful meal.
Did you hand him cookies and he just looked at you and just completely
No, he definitely didn't treat me the way Dan Snyder treated Michael Kay. But listen, let me tell you something about Jason Wright. All you need to know about the kind of businessman that dude has become is that he navigated this entire operation being a part of Snyder's craziness, was very close to Snyder, managed to never get fired by that crazy man. Then, when the new regime came in and took over, he will have then lasted 2 more years with an entirely new regime who was trying to get rid of the stench. To me, that says that's a pretty impressive guy who knows how to sort of operate. I like Jason a lot. It's hard to quantify exactly what a team president does, especially a team that's been in complete disarray. But if I were a betting man, I'd say he lands somewhere else doing something good.
You know what's so funny? It really depends on the team, right? Because what we're starting to see is team presidents run the team. Like Leon Rose is not the general manager; he's the president, but he's clearly making the personnel decisions. And in some organizations, the president is more focused on the business side of things and luxury boxes and advertising. It's weird. It's defined differently by organizations. Strange. I'm not sure why that is.
Something else that's already strange is going to continue to be strange. Seeing Nick Saban on ESPN as an analyst, not as the head coach of Alabama football.
Yeah, there'll be an adjustment.
He was on SportsCenter a couple days ago, and he did not pick his former Crimson Tide for the SEC championship game.
I want to put Alabama up there someplace. I got kind of criticized today by some of my former players that I didn't pick them to be in the SEC championship game, but they need to understand, that's counter rat poison. I never wanted to get picked first. I always wanted to be the underdog. So this was counter rat poison. I hope they understand.
The reverse psychology. I got it.
And if Nick Saban would be proud of anybody, it'd be Alabama O-lineman Tyler Booker when asked about Saban picking Texas and Georgia in the SEC championship game.
Well, something that Coach Saban taught us whenever we speak to the media is to not concern ourselves with external factors. And he doesn't work in a facility anymore. He works in the stadium, so he's considered as an external factor. So I'm not really paying attention to him.
At least he lied, because you're going to pay attention.
He's kidding.
Yeah, of course.
But it's funny.
No, it is funny. And it sounds to me like it was a bit of a backpedal. I don't think he believes that Alabama is going to compete with either Georgia or Texas. But, it's one of those weird things, guys. He's working in the media, but he does collect a paycheck from Alabama.
Right.
So it's an advisory role, but it's a role. So It's kind of awkward for him, but I think his first statement about not having Alabama in the championship game is the true statement of how he really feels.
Tom Pelissero and Rich Eisen, speaking of coaches that we aren't going to see on the sidelines that we did for years and years now, Bill Belichick still wants to coach in 2025.
He's fully invested in, he wants to coach again. He wants to pursue the all-time wins record. Those are things that really matter a lot to Bill Belichick. Where is that going to be? I think that it's going to depend on a lot of different factors. I know that everybody's been connecting him to Dallas because he has a relationship with Jerry Jones. I don't see that. I'm not saying it won't happen. I'm saying I don't see that as a fit. Number one, yes, Mike McCarthy's in a contract year. He's won 12 games each of the last 3 years. They got to do better in the playoffs. He knows that. Everybody knows that. I don't sit here and say I think Mike McCarthy's not the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys in 2025. But also, even if he's not, I don't really see Bill Belichick functioning in an environment where Jerry oversees personnel, where Jerry gives press conferences after games, where Jerry runs everything the way that Jerry wants to.
Do you think we see Bill back on the sidelines next year, guys?
And it'll be in Dallas. Okay. Book it.
It will be in Dallas.
Book it.
That is the sexiest option and feels like the most obvious, right?
Yeah.
And the feather in the cap could be he brought back America's after he turned the Patriots, who were a complete joke of a franchise, into the #1 team in the sport. He'll then go back and give the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, their championship. It's a good. It'll make me sick.
Yeah.
Like, I'll puke every week. I'll throw up in my mouth talking about it. But it's a great story, and I think Don's right.
It would be like the Theo Epstein of coaches.
It's
turning around the franchises that had all these.
Yeah, it has to happen, guys, because Jerry's going to turn 82 in October. And he wants to win that elusive last championship. And if it means maybe taking a little bit of a step, now he can't completely disappear, but he did it for Parcells for a little while. If they have another 12-win season, but out in the wild card round, not making a run, McCarthy's gone, and who better to plug in there than a guy that can has tons of postseason and Super Bowl experience. And if Jerry wants a ring before, God forbid, he passes away, I mean, he's not buying green bananas, as Michael would say. He's going to be 82 years old.
So long, yes. That's going to do it for ENN. Brought to you by...
Bye, yes. That's a wrap on the show for today. Coming up next, you could enjoy watching David Cohn's perfect game from 1999 on Yankees Classics. For all of us here on The Michael Kay Show, this is Chris Sheeran saying have a great night. We'll see you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock. K Show on Yes is presented by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at untuckit.com.
The best ideas come from solving common problems. My problem, like a lot of other men, I couldn't find a shirt that looked good untucked. So this became my passion.